And welcome to Van Meter's Stadium in Beckley. Tonight, Video Production presents a AAA heavyweight matchup between the number 6 ranked Huntington Highlanders as they enter the ball game 4-1, taking on the number 9 Beckley Flying Eagles, and they are 5-1. Hello again, everybody. With Eric Thomas, I'm Maris Lowry. We welcome you into the Beckley Auto Mall pregame show. And Eric, we think we're going to have one heck of a game tonight between these two heavyweights, Huntington and Beckley. And both of these teams get it done in different styles, and you're going to allude to that now.
Yeah, one does it by air, which is the Highlanders, and the Flying Eagles are more of a ground and pound type of team. But both teams are littered with a lot of skill all over the field.
Yeah, this should be a great football game. Now, this series, especially as of late, has been dominated by Huntington. In fact, Huntington has won 11 in a row in this series, and I did all of those games back in my radio day, and there were only a few that you could say that were close, but by and large, Huntington won those games by, I would say, by an average of at least 3 touchdowns. But, of course, that won't have anything to do on the game here tonight.
Yeah, Huntington, they built a great tradition. That I think they started, 1996, and, you know, the early years were lean. They went through a few years where they were 2 for 2 and 28. So, fans, if you're out there watching, I mean, you can turn a program around, and that's what they did. They have a lot of talent, and you know what? They're well coached, and they'll be prepared tonight on the road.
Yeah, Billy Seals, the head coach of Huntington. It's a consolidation with Huntington and the old Huntington East High School. The first year was 1996. It's one of the biggest schools in the state of West Virginia. It has 1,700 students from 9 through 12. Beckley, on the other hand, right about 1,300 9 through 12. But you're right, Eric. 07, 08, and 09, Huntington had 3 years where in 07 they were 1-9, 08 1-9, and then in 09 0-10. In that 3-year span, they were 2-28. But boy, they have since turned it around. And I know that's been a little while ago, but Huntington has got it going. And they are each of the last several years have been one of the contenders to win the AAA title.
And it's no different this year. And this, if you look at this Huntington Highlander squad on a whole, they only have 9 seniors. They have a lot of talent in the underclassmen, sophomores, the juniors class is really, really heavy, so they're going to be contenders for a couple years to come.
We're going to take our first pregame break. We'll come back and we'll dive into more of some of the names you'll hear us call on the broadcast here tonight as you are watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
Auto Mall, West Virginia's largest GMC Buick dealer, is a proud sponsor of West Virginia high school athletics and our area student athletes. Beckley Auto Mall, with 3 locations for your convenience: 3934 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley, 199 Rogers Street, Princeton, and 368 Seneca Trail in Fairleigh. Plus, you can shop 24/7 at BeckleyAutomall.com. Beckley Auto Mall and West Virginia student athletes, a winning combination. GMC, we are professional grade.
As a former college football player, I realized that sports-related injuries can happen real fast. Hello, I'm Dr. Gross. If your child or grandchild is dealing with sports-related injuries, or maybe you're dealing with something that just won't go away, call me today and I can help you get back on the playing field. To better serve you, see us at one of our 3 locations in Beckley, Whipple, and Sophia at the numbers listed below. So take care of yourself. You deserve it.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. You keep us going. Thank you.
Welcome to Allstate. You already paid for car insurance. Why not take your home along for the ride? Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Call a local agent or 1-800-ALLSTATE for a quote today.
And we welcome you back to the Beckley Auto Mall pregame show here at Van Meter Stadium in Beckley. I'm Maris Lowry with Eric Thomas, and as we continue to break down these teams, and Eric, first of all, we'll take a look at the visiting team, ranked number 6, the Huntington Highlanders are 4-1 after they dropped the opening game of the season, a 1-point loss to Spring Valley, 29-28. Their next 4 games, they've really put up the points. They beat South Charleston 54-7. They beat George Washington 58-13. They beat Capital 56 6-7, and they didn't quite get 50. They got 49 and shutting out Riverside 49-0. So it is a very explosive offense, and they are led by their quarterback, Gavin Alaco, and he's been sensational. He has thrown for over 1,000 yards, 18 touchdowns to only 1 interception, and he's rushed for 338 yards and 4 more touchdowns. So Laco has accounted for 22 touchdowns for the Highlanders.
And that puts a lot of stress on your defense when your quarterback is very accurate, because of 18, that ratio, 18-1, that's accuracy, and his receivers are really catching the ball. But the number that sticks out to me is almost 400 yards rushing, excuse me, because that puts extreme pressure on your defensive backfield, because you have 2 primary things to look at. You know he can pull it down and run, and it's real hard to cover in space when you're worried about a quarterback running.
And, Eric, that's what I was thinking when I was putting my sheet together, that a guy that throws efficient as he is, 59 of 93, and I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but I'd say that's over 60% of completion rate. But you're right. He's a guy that if you don't stay in your lane as a defender, he can tuck it under, and he can run the ball, and like you said, by almost 400 yards of rushing.
I mean, that's a complete quarterback right there. And in this day and age of the spread, you might say, well, some of that's, short passes, but that all adds up to yards. And the thing that worries me in this game, if you're Beckley, you cannot let this high-flying offense that averages 49 points a game get out quick.
And here's another thing, too, Eric, when I was putting my sheet together on homework, that Huntington receivers have there's been 11 different receivers that Laco has hit. So he's not just locked in on 1 or 2 favorite receivers. He's thrown the ball to 11 different players.
And once again, that's a sign of a good quarterback seeing the field, because if you're ever able to survey, and that also is a testament to what? Offensive line play. Because if you have that much time to survey and go to your first, second, and third option, you're good.
And on the flip side, for the Beckley Flying Eagles, this is the first time through 6 games that they've been 5-1 since 2005. And actually, they're going to play the national anthem. So tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll dive into the Beckley Flying Eagles. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
The Auto Mall, West Virginia's largest GMC Buick dealer, is a proud sponsor of West Virginia high school athletics and our area student athletes. Beckley Auto Mall, with 3 locations for your convenience: 3934 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley, 199 Rogers Street, Princeton, and 368 Seneca Trail in Fairleigh. Plus, you can shop 24/7 at BeckleyAutomall.com. Beckley Auto Mall and West Virginia student athletes, a winning combination. GMC, we are professional grade.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications, or strings, or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
What's more important to you when buying windows, siding, and doors?
Is it energy savings, cost, quality, warranty, or perhaps color options, low maintenance, service, or financing options?
Or all of the above. Window World offers it all.
We listen to your needs and go above and beyond your expectations. Schedule your free, no obligation, in-home estimate by calling Window World of Beckley today.
You have a goal. You know what you want. Start with us, New River Community and Technical College, your community college. Take classes online or in a classroom in Beaver, Lewisburg, Summersville, or Princeton, or step outside the classroom in one of our technical or health programs. Find flexible and affordable options to help you reach your goal. It's closer than you think when you start with us, New River Community and Technical College. Apply today.
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium in Beckley. And before we took that break, Eric, we're diving into the Beckley Flying Eagles, coached by Street Surratt in his 7th year. And it's been since 2005 where Beckley has started the first 6 games at 5-1. Beckley's only blemish was to Parkersburg South. Beckley, as we had that opening game against Riverside, they got off to a big lead and held Riverside off, winning that game 31-28. They beat their arch rival, Greenbrier East, 49-21, and the only hiccup, and you saw that game, it was a Saturday, Beckley lost to Parkersburg South 48-25. But since then, they've reeled off 3 straight wins, and I think what really got Beckley going, that 30-27, they got a last-second field goal by Connor Mollahan to beat Bluefield, and then convincing wins over Lincoln and Preston, beating Lincoln 48-8 and Preston 42-7. And Beckley, they hit you with a lot of different backs. The same way, but a lot of different backs. Ground and pound, smash and dash. And they got a lot of big backs, starting with Matt Moore, Nate Grayton, Elijah Walker, Tylee Kimball. They've got several backs that Beckley will see probably by committee here tonight.
And there's one you failed to mention, that's Devontae Mitchell, and he's the one that really gets in the end zone. He has the least amount of touches and the most touchdowns. So I guess they pound you, and he has breakaway speed. But the one thing that Beckley did that I think helps them moving forward, in years past, they've had a couple of lean years, but when they usually got down, it was a resilient team against Bluefield because they trailed twice in that game. And one time they were down 21-14 and then they were able to come back from a 27-21 deficit late in the game. So anytime you can do that, you have it going in the right way, and your team believes in one another. And
what's been stout whenever you have a running game is that offensive line, and that offensive line has been great for Beckley. It's opened up a lot of holes for these multiple backs to run through.
Yes, heavy on the senior line, and they do what they're supposed to do. Their technique's pretty good. They don't hold a lot, and they just move the chain. Sometimes, they do it about 2-3 yards, but those add up to first downs. And I think in order for them to be competitive tonight and really be in this, going to have to play a little keep away. Maybe get some long drives and first downs.
Yeah, and we'll get into that as we get closer to our keys to the game. But like we talked about on top in our first segment, definitely a contrast in styles. Huntington is a big play team. They do it basically over the top in the air, where Beckley, like you said, they want to eat the clock, ground and pound, smash and dash. But Beckley also can hit the big play. We saw that. Tylee Kimball ran the opening kickoff back against Riverside. So Beckley's got good athletes like they've always had.
Yeah, and they also did it through the air. And the Parkersburg South game was on a Saturday, and they're a real explosive team as well. And they early in the game, Beckley hit a big pass on them, because they had 8 people in the box, and they were able, to stick it in the gut, pull it, and throw a deep one. So that's one thing I think the Highlanders have to be aware of. And if you look at the contrasting styles, the only team that they've lost to is a kind of a ground and pound team in Spring Valley. So that's the way, and that's their lowest point total. So if you kind of take the blueprint from Spring Valley and run at them, you might have some success.
And we'll get into this in our next segment, but I think just right now on the service, I think you would agree it's key that Beckley's got to stay in the game close. I don't think they can fall behind early by a couple scores. They've got to make it close throughout the first quarter.
No, absolutely. This is one of those games they want to keep it in the 20s. You don't want to get up in the 40s. They've scored 40, but that's not the type of style that Beckley is trying to play.
Yeah, I agree. If it's possible, I think for Beckley to have a legitimate chance to win this game, they've got to keep Huntington, I think you would agree, Eric, to 30 or less.
Oh, I 100% concur on that one. And the thing, Maris, and I think early they're going to need some breaks. Well, we'll get into that with our keys to the game. So.
And we'll do that in our next segment. We're going to take our final pregame break here from Van Meter Stadium at the Beckley Auto Mall pregame show, as we've got number 6 Huntington at number 9 Beckley in Class AAA. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
The Auto Mall, West Virginia's largest GMC Buick dealer, is a proud sponsor of West Virginia high school athletics and our area student athletes. Beckley Auto Mall, with 3 locations for your convenience: 3934 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley, 199 Rogers Street, Princeton, and 368 Seneca Trail in Fairleigh. Plus, you can shop 24/7 at BeckleyAutomall.com. Beckley Auto Mall and West Virginia student athletes, a winning combination. GMC, we are professional grade.
Unlock the money already in your home at City National Bank. Consolidate loans or fund your next big project with a home equity line of credit with a great low intro rate. Visit your local branch to get started. City National Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Learn more at homeequity.bankatcity.com.
Motley's Plumbing and Heating of Beckley, West Virginia is now hiring journeyman or master plumbers. You must have a West Virginia plumbing license and a valid driver's license. All interested parties may apply at Motley's Plumbing and Heating at 101 First Street, Beckley, West Virginia, or interested applicants can call 304-253-HELP. Once again, you may apply in person at Motley's Plumbing and Heating, 101 First Street, Beckley, West Virginia. Motley's Plumbing and Heating is an equal opportunity employer.
We're just about 5 minutes away, kicking the ball game off between Huntington and Beckley. Before we do that, I'd like to take this time to thank our live streaming sponsor, Dr. John Tabbitt at West Virginia Orthopedic Trauma. Whether it's a sports injury or a car accident, Dr. Tabbitt will get you back on your feet, and he's a proud sponsor of high school athletics in Southern West Virginia, as we're waiting for the teams to emerge out onto the field. And Eric, before they come out on the field, we got to give a shout out to the lassies, and especially your daughter, who's one of the lassies that will be dancing and hopefully cheering on the Flying Eagles to a victory tonight.
Well, she was extremely happy that I finally got a game that I can watch her, as we travel around the county doing games. That's one thing I love to do this, but on the other hand, I don't get to see her much. So, yeah, it's good to see her.
And we're speaking of Lexi Thomas, a freshman at Beckley, as they are awaiting the entrance of the Flying Eagles. Beckley will be in all maroon tonight, maroon helmet, maroon jerseys, and maroon pants trimmed in white. Huntington will be in white with the green helmet. It'll be number 9 Beckley, number 6 Huntington. And, Eric, when you talk about this, and we'll get into the indoor air keys of the game here in just a second, but such a big game because if you're thinking playoff and you're thinking home field for Beckley, if they can get this win after tonight, Beckley will have 3 games left. They do have a bye week in there, but they have Princeton on the road, Oak Hill on the road, and they finish up with the game we'll have on November the 4th when they play George Washington. All those are very meaningful games.
Yeah, each game down the stretch is very meaningful for this team and positioning. And, you're going to have back-to-back games between ranked teams. And, look at the light. Nice light selection here. But this is a big game. It's a big game for both teams, both squads, because Huntington, with that one loss, they need this road game, to move up in the ranks and try to secure a home field game.
So the keys to the first half are brought to you by Indoor Air. Indoor Air is a proud sponsor of Raleigh County Sports. For all your heating and cooling needs, you can dial up Indoor Air at 304-890-2212 as they have this light show, as they got new lights this year as the Flying Eagles making their way on the field as Huntington is. Eric, what is your Indoor Air keys to the first half?
Well, keys to the game for the Huntington Highlanders on the road is just to continue to do what they do. You want to get up early and take this big crowd out with a quick strike with this explosive offense. And Beckley on the flip side, you need to sustain some drives and come away with points. And even in the kicking game where they have a tremendous kicker and Connor Mollahan. So, anytime they're inside the 30 to 25, they have a shot to put, points on the board, and that's going to be key to this game, to the first half.
And, Eric, I think it'll be interesting to see that if Huntington wins the toss of the coin, if they'll take the ball, because I always believe you want to put your best unit out there. And obviously, not saying Huntington's not good on defense, but offense has definitely been their best unit.
Hey, they're equally good because they got a couple of games where they put some donuts up there. But I'm extremely in favor of on the road taking that ball and, driving it down a team's throat and taking the crowd out.
If they put donuts up, I hope it's glazed donuts. That's my favorite. We're now having the toss of the coin. And because of the under construction here at the stadium, they have
Beckley won the toss.
Yeah, Beckley won the toss. They'll probably, I don't know if I should say probably defer. They're going to take the ball, and they're going to try to ground it out. But what I was going to say, Eric, is because of under the construction of the stadium, they flipped. And when I mean they flipped, they've put the home side now is across the way where the visitors used to be, and now the visiting side is over here on the press box side, what used to be the home side. So if you've been to Van Meter Stadium before and you're thinking, wait a minute, is the camera out of whack? No, that's the situation, and it looks like Beckley will receive to start the ball game.
And so that's the interesting philosophy in that, and you just said it, and that just holds true. You want to put what you feel is your best unit, and Beckley's best unit is their offense, trying to keep the ball away, put some points on the board.
I would say if you're picking your poison, I would think that you want to be able to maybe to get the ball first and have ball control and eat the clock up. You don't want to put your defense out there and then maybe give up a big play and be deflated like right off the bat.
Yeah, correct.
So we're about ready to go. As Huntington getting their final instructions right below us. Beckley will be working right to left. As I mentioned, Beckley all in maroon tonight. Huntington in white, trimmed in green. And it's the Highlanders who are 4-1, number 6 against number 9, 5-1, Beckley. And Tylee Kimball, a 6 foot, 171-pound senior, is back. And I'm trying to see who, I think that might be Nate Grayton on the near side. It's Kimball over on the far side as the ball is teed up equally between the hashes at the 40-yard line. And we are moments away from getting the ball game started on a beautiful night here in Beckley at Van Meter Stadium. New lights, got this great turf field, and we are underway. Here's the opening kickoff, and it's right down the middle coming on a hop. And Beckley will pick it up right there about the 13, come to the near side, and Huntington covers it pretty good. And Beckley will start over the 20. Looks to be about the 23, maybe the 22. We'll see where they put him down at. And let's see, they're going to put him down at the 23-yard line. The opening drive of the ball game is brought to you by Beckley Auto Mall GMC. We are professional grade. 1st and 10 Beckley, as they'll have it on their own 23-yard line. Jay Jones, the quarterback, 6'2", 191-pound senior. He will bring them out.
And Jay Jones, he's been Mr. Consistency for this offense. You know, he plays linebacker as well, and that's real tough on any level, especially the AAA level, to be the quarterback and middle linebacker.
So on 1st and 10, they'll give the ball to Moore, and Huntington stacks him up. Maybe no gain, maybe a yard, as Huntington was ready for that on the inside handoff to Matt Moore.
Yeah, good, strong interior defense, and Huntington is really going to do this. They're going to stack that box with as many as they can with this close running game, this tight formation that Beckley comes out with.
They'll give him a yard over to the 24-yard line, make it 2nd and 9 for the Flying Eagles. Beckley taking their time in the huddle. We're approaching 15 seconds on the play clock. They haven't broke the huddle yet, trying to shrink the game. And now they break the huddle just at 10 seconds on the play clock on 2nd and 9 from their own 24. They're going to have to hurry up. They're down to 3 seconds on the play clock as they put Moore in motion, and they give him the ball, and he's got a nice gain as he gets shy of the 30.
It's going to be 3rd and short here, and you're right. There's one thing between plays, Maris, I've noticed that the quarterback, Jones, he goes and gets the play, and right now they were lucky to get that one off early, but and avert a penalty.
Yeah, so it's going to be 3rd down and 5. They'll have the ball on their own 28. The spot the game will be the 33. And definitely nobody, but especially when you play against a higher-powered team, you don't want to go 3 and out on your first possession.
Yeah, and it's tough sledding, and it's all, this offense is predicated on that 1st down play. And Huntington was able to hold them to 1 yard on 1st down in a predictable offense. If you look, they're going with the motion.
And they pick up a 1st down with a power run right up the middle. Good job of that offensive line as you've got Elkins, Folks, Hill, Burks, Bowling up front, and they push Huntington off the line to pick up a 1st down to the 35-yard line.
And that time they went with Tylee Kimball, who has a little more burst than Moore. Moore is more of your, get those tough yards between the tackle. Not too many people take them down with, the first tackler. So Kimball gave him a little more dash in there.
Picked up 7 yards to extend the drive. 1st and 10 Beckley on their own 35-yard line. Once again, the tight formation. Jay Jones, the quarterback, up under center. Power football, trying to just win the line of scrimmage and battle up front. And it's worked for Beckley in 5 of their 6 games, and a nice gain on 1st down.
Yeah, right now the big guys. My coach. No offense to Eddie Lyman. He used to call them the big uglies. Coach Peters and Coach Cuthbert when I played at Independence, but they're doing a good job.
And I think 1st down is so key. They're able to pick up 4 yards out to the 39-yard line. And once again, you can see how they're trying to shrink the game, taking their time in no hurry. They break the huddle with 15 on the play clock. It'll be 2nd down and 6 from their own 39-yard line. Huntington, they're stacking the box.
8 in the box here.
Here comes another running play. It'll be Moore. He crosses the 40, and he's out over the 45 for another Beckley 1st down out to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, and right now we have a lineman down for Beckley. And they're trying to dust him off. They're like, come on, man, we need you in here. But what a good run. What a good second effort right there as Moore got to the second level. And he was a shoestring tackle right there from breaking a big gainer.
Yeah, 9-yard pickup for Beckley's 2nd 1st down. Matt Moore, a 5'10", 232-pound senior.
So there's 2 things we need to allude to here. You do, with this type of offense, if you do stack the box mares and you're able to get to that second level, there's only 2 people back there to try to stop you. So, or third level actually, because the linebackers are right there.
We've got an injury timeout. We'll take it with them. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football and video productions.
Oh, yeah.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
Massey Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
Senior too, though.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Beckley. They have it on their own 48. This will be the 6th play of the drive. It's all been on the ground up to this point. And out of the eye, they'll run, and they get the ball to Kimball, kind of on a little crossbuck. He'll cross midfield into Huntington territory for a pretty good gain on first down.
Yeah, that's going to be pickup of about 4. And as you stated, first down's key and critical in this offense.
They'll give him a 3-yard gain to the Huntington 49, but what they are doing is they're eating up clock. We're already 4 minutes into the game, and Beckley taking their time, Eric, methodically, taking a lot of time in the huddle, getting up to the line of scrimmage with about 10 seconds left on the play clock, and right now what Street Surratt is wanting to do, it's been working.
Yeah, ball control is key, and really wearing on the defense, because both of these teams have guys that go both ways. So
here's Moore with the carry. Trying to get tough yards up inside. He breaks a tackle, runs over a guy, and maybe thought he was going to take it to the house, and there was a touchdown-saving tackle, but they'll move the chains for another Beckley first down inside the 40 at the Huntington 39, a 10-yard gain.
And Matt Moore, on this replay, if you look, it looks like a big muddle huddle, and he comes out, and he's a load to bring down. But what I like about Matt Moore, he stayed the course here, had some lean years, and he's a tremendous leader. Senior leader for this team, and he really got going last year, I think, in the Princeton game, and he was running wild, and it's really carried over to his senior year.
That was a 10-yard gain, and it moves the chains. 1st and 10 Beckley at the Huntington 39-yard line. So right now Beckley is doing exactly what they wanted to do, eating up clock and getting first downs on the ground. Here's Jones with a handoff, and Huntington stacks that up for maybe a yard gain, rather. And I think that was Kimball that ran inside.
Yeah, his forward progress will give him a tough yard. Huntington really has some beef in the middle of that defense right now with Kyle Jackson. He's a 5'10", 280-pound junior playing the nose, and that's a load right there.
And, Eric, I know things have been working on the ground for Beckley, but Huntington, as you mentioned in a couple of plays before, they're creeping up 8, 9 guys in the box. You think there might be a time where Beckley may wants to take a shot at a pass down the field?
Yeah, but the thing is with this offense, I'm not saying Jay Jones, he's a little challenged in this passing a little bit, so you have to pick your scenario.
Here's a running play. Huntington looked like they lined up offsides. No flag. Is they going to throw that play for no gain or a loss? Maybe a loss back to the original line of scrimmage to the 39 and bring up 3rd and 10.
And this is Huntington. If you're Huntington's defense, this is where you want this style of offense to be, because you can pin your ears back and dictate what they do as they change some personnel now. Look for a blitz. Look for a little run blitz here to really put the pressure on the offensive line and see how they communicate and pick it up.
If Beckley doesn't pick up the first down, they probably got to get the ball down to maybe the 32, and I don't even know if that would give Beckley a legit shot at maybe trying a field goal.
Yeah, no, I think you need to probably be inside the 30-yard line. Connor has a good leg, but it's a windy night as well.
They're going to run the ball. Here's Kimball trying to get to the edge, and he gets hit shy of the 35. They'll put him down at the 36, so obviously by running it on 3rd down, they'll come back and go for it here on 4th down.
That was a tremendous tackle. I didn't see who came up from the corner position because Kimball had some running room, and that was at least a first down saving tackle there.
Well, they're going to need 7 yards on this 4th down play. They have the ball at the Huntington 36-yard line. They've eaten up over half of the quarter, and this is obviously a very big play here early in the ball game.
Yeah, and they've also taken out Tylee Kimball and inserted Nate Grayton, and Nate Grayton gives them a little more, a little flash. But out of this set, they usually run this double handoff where they hand it to the running back. And
we'll see what they do on 4th and 7 at the Huntington 36-yard line. Long count, trying to maybe draw Huntington off sides. Jones will throw. Back to pass. Pressure comes. Going down the middle of the field. Got a man open, and they cannot connect. They had a receiver running free. That was Nate Grayton down the center of the field, and they could not connect. And Huntington able to hold them on downs as we watch.
And I don't know if Nate Grayton picked this ball up. This was a strike.
Yeah, should have been a touchdown.
This was 6 right here.
Good protection, well thrown ball. That should have been a touchdown. I'm with you. I don't think that maybe
roughing the passer, penalty on the play as we were looking at the replay. Ooh,
wow,
that's
huge.
That's huge. That was wide open. That was a good play call. Well designed, and I didn't see the hit after the play, so I can't elaborate on that, but that's on the road.
Here we watch it again as the ball goes down to the 30-yard line, and he took a shot right under the chin.
Maybe hit him a little
But I don't understand why it's only a 6-yard gain. First down from the Huntington 30, and Moore takes the handoff and gets inside the 30. I'm with you, Eric. I'm not sure why that's not a 15-yard personal foul.
But the key to that was a new set of downs as they don't pick up anything on that. And that time, Beckley went into the I formation, and they're mixing it up with their play calling tonight.
But I thought that was going to be a touchdown for sure on the pass. That was a well-thrown ball by Jones. And I think with you, I think maybe Grayton maybe didn't pick it up in the lights. But we're approaching 4 minutes for the opening quarter, and Huntington's yet to touch the ball. It'll be 2nd and 9 for Beckley at the Highlander 29-yard line. Jones with tight formation puts Moore in motion. They'll hand the ball up inside. That's a different runner in the ball game. I believe that was Mitchell that carried it that time. Now, I beg your pardon, Leon Smith with the carry. And it goes for no yards. It'll be 3rd and 9 again for Beckley at the Huntington 29-yard line. So here's the 14th play of this drive. And Beckley has used up already over 8 minutes on it.
And the thing is with Huntington, they're doing a good job these last 2 series of downs, keeping Beckley in a predictable passing down. But also, it's not really predictable because this is 2-down territory for them right here. They could run it. But
we'll see what Beckley dials up. Jones to throw. He's got time. Sits in the pocket. Now he's scrambling as the pocket breaks down. He's going to keep it, and he's going to get a pretty good gain before taking a big shot out of bounds on the far sideline. He gets inside the 25. They'll put him down maybe right at the 25, but make it a very manageable 4th down play.
Yeah, let's see what they decide here because that will be a 42-yard field goal.
I would say they'd go for it because you've got to get points. You've held the ball for as long as they've have.
Yeah, and the way your offense is moving the ball, this is a doable situation here.
Yeah, you need 5 yards on this 4th down play.
And it was good to see the Beckley quarterback scramble instead of sitting in the pocket, and that puts pressure on the defense as well. As you can see, they've loosened up.
4th down, here's the running play to Moore. He's not going to get there. He's going to come up short. He had to get to the 20, and after all that, Huntington is able to hold, and the Highlanders will take over on downs as they stop Beckley about a yard shy of the 1st down.
Yeah, and here comes this high-flying offense as Beckley was able to chew up the clock, come away empty as Gavin Locko comes out, and as you said, this senior, if not one, he's one or two of the best quarterbacks in the state, and very accurate. 59 of 93 on the season for 1,001 yards.
Yeah, and 18 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's also rushed for 338 yards and 4 scores. So Huntington will take over on their own 22. And it's just 3:05 left in the quarter as Beckley ate up a lot of clock, but they get turned away. So Huntington works out of the shotgun. Gavin Locko waiting on the shotgun snap, puts a man in motion. It's going to be a quick pitch, and Beckley's up to the task as they'll throw it for a 2-yard loss back to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Beckley's going to have to be real disciplined and make tackles in space. If you're the first man there, you're going to have good pursuit because these backs can make you miss and take one to the house.
Yeah, they'll give it a 1-yard loss and go back to the 21. It'll be 2nd and 11. And, of course, every down is probably a passing down for Huntington. But you think 2nd and 11, you think that they would probably going to put it up right here. So if you're Beckley, you've got to keep everything in front of you. And Huntington, they will put trips. Well, actually, they're going to go twins to each side. They'll go empty. As Locko waits on the snap, put a man in motion, and Locko's going to keep it himself, and he's not going to get much. A yard, maybe that's it. Beckley defended that very well, and it'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, 3rd and long here, and in this situation, you have to be disciplined. You know, in a running quarterback, as good as he is, you have to be disciplined in how you rush the quarterback. You have to stay in your lane, so to speak. You can't overrun the pocket. You have to really keep him in the well is what they say. They want to keep him in the well, make him throw from the pocket.
Well, the line to gain will be the 32, so they're going to need 8 yards on this third down play from their own 23-yard line. And once again, they'll go empty. They'll go twins to each side. Locko takes the snap.
It's going to be a wheel route, looks like.
He's got time, got a man open, and it's overthrown just a bit. The ball kind of took off, and a big hit in the Beckley secondary, and Beckley turns him away 3 and out.
Well, I think Beckley probably got away. If you look at this replay, Beckley may have got away with a PI right here because I think the defender was there a tad early. Yeah, so good play, turn him over on downs. It wasn't called. I'm not, like you said, I'm not the guy that counts down there, but right now, Beckley is kind of in control of the early outset of this game.
So here's a punt coming up for Huntington on this 4th down play.
What a nice punt.
Yep, and if it takes a big Beckley bounce, and Beckley's going to have a short field about the 42-yard line. So after Beckley ate up most of the quarter and then turned it over on downs, they force a 3 and out and a punt by Huntington, and Beckley will take over at the Highlander 42. So right now, if you're Street Surratt and your staff, you've got to really be pleased by everything, special teams, offense, defense.
Yeah, in all 3 phases, you're going to have to be sound and keep this up the whole game because, this powder keg of a team in Huntington can explode at any time.
And, Eric, I just wonder, I know Beckley had success running the ball, but maybe just think and see if they might take a shot down the field with a pass on first down. Because if you're going to do it, I think this is a part of the field where you might do it.
Yeah, but I think they're still going to establish that run and then try to hit him with the big gainer.
And there's more as he takes tacklers inside the 40, all the way down to the Huntington 35, maybe the 34 is more just off the right side, and a good job of that offensive line. And that's a good gain on first down. That'll be a pickup of 8 to the Huntington 34-yard line.
Yeah, good lean by Moore, and he's a load. He's a true load to take down.
Matt Moore, 5'10", 232-pound senior.
And that's big on any level.
That's right. And like I said, he's just not big. He runs hard and he's fast. So a huge gain on first down.
He has that sneaky quickness, right?
So at the 34 of Huntington, 2nd and 2 for the Flying Eagles. Jones brings them up under center. They're going to run the ball straight ahead. They're going to break it to the outside. That should be enough for a first down as Moore with the carry, and that should be enough to move the sticks.
Moore left his feet that time. He wasn't going to be denied picking up the first down. And hats off right now to the O-line standing up against this defensive line of the Huntington Highlanders and being down a starter because their starter went out and he's yet to come back in, the left tackle for the Flying Eagles, William Elkins.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Beckley needed 2 on that 2nd down play, and they got 3, so they'll move the chains. We've got a fast-moving first quarter, under 30 seconds to go, and it is because of all the running, and Beckley's controlled the clock and done exactly what they've wanted to do. 1st and 10, Beckley at the Huntington 31. Out of the I formation, Jones set. They're going to run the ball again up inside, and that's going to get maybe a yard, as that's a good job that time by the Huntington defense. And that was Mitchell on the carry for Beckley.
Yeah, and that was DeMontre. He's the one that they bring in. They let DeMontre, they let Mr. Moore and all those guys wear you down, and Mitchell was able to hit you tough.
That's the final play of the first quarter. There's no score between Beckley and Huntington as you're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. You keep us going. Thank you.
As a former college football player, I realized that sports-related injuries can happen real fast. Hello, I'm Dr. Gross. If your child or grandchild is dealing with sports-related injuries, or maybe you're dealing with something that just won't go away, call me today and I can help you get back on the playing field. To better serve you, see us at one of our 3 locations in Beckley, Whipple, and Sophia at the numbers listed below. So take care of yourself. You deserve it.
Little General Stores has been serving for almost 5 decades, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. Thank you.
Welcome back to Van Meter Stadium in Beckley as we go to the second quarter. Beckley has a 2nd and 9 at the Highlander 30-yard line as we switch ends. Jones up under center. Puts a man in motion. They'll quick pitch it to him, trying to get to the edge as Beckley and Huntington does a great job. Nice defensive plays. Tylee Kimball, who is perhaps maybe one of Beckley's, if not their fastest guy, definitely one of their fastest guys.
Yeah.
And Huntington did a good job on that.
And they tried to get him on the edge, but it was a great job by the cornerback for Huntington, Zay Jackson, who came up, and what he did was set the edge. And he made Mitchell cut back up into the pursuit, and Huntington was able to slam the door.
Yeah, it was Kimball on the carry, but it's going to lose 2 yards.
Oh, it was the Tylee Kimball?
Yeah, number 7 there, Tylee Kimball, the 6', 171-pound senior on that carry. But it's going to bring up 3rd down now for Beckley, 3rd and long. They have the ball at the Huntington 32. They just now break the huddle with 10 seconds left on the play clock. They're going to have to hustle.
This is a different formation. They're in the gun.
Yep, here's the shotgun snap to Jones, and then we got a timeout. And I think Beckley, that's their second timeout. There's 3 seconds left on the clock, or the play clock, that is. So while they take a timeout, we're going to take it with them as you're watching live streaming coverage of high school football and video productions.
Adrian, need to get over to Hometown Kia in Beckley. You got a prize-winning lineup of new Kias over there. And these new Kias are real contenders. Mickey even likes the new Telluride to ride back and forth to the gym. Those guys at Hometown Kia in Beckley, they are in the corner fighting for you through the whole deal. So if you're out there in the market for a new ride, don't go 10 rounds with one of those other dealers. Get over to Hometown Kia of Beckley for a real knockout deal. Get a new Kia from Hometown Kia. That's how winning is done.
Every year, the big banks raise their fees while reducing the services they provide. How do they get away with that? If you were to join Pioneer Community Bank, your money would stay right here, supporting a local business, which results in lower fees and better customer service for you. Sounds like a plan. So you're not really stuck with the big banks and their policies. Keep your money where it belongs, right here with Pioneer Community Bank.
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium. Out of the timeout, Beckley is looking at a 3rd down play coming up. 3rd down from the Huntington 32. Here's the shotgun snap. They're going to throw the ball short. And they got a man out there. And then May's going to look like he's going to get a Beckley first down. And it is on the far side, inside the 20, all the way inside the 15, and down near the 10, coming up about the 12-yard line. Beckley first down as they throw the ball short. I couldn't tell who caught that.
That was Moore, Matt Moore, grumbling and stumbling.
Yep, Moore's
bumbling. Not bumbling, but he's a load to really get down in the open field.
They could not get him down, and takes the ball all the way down to the 12-yard line. That's a 20-yard pass play from Jones to Moore, and a big play for the Flying Eagles. First down at the Huntington 12.
And a good play call. They're doing a great job of switching up formations. They've already ran out of the I. They've ran out of the shotgun, and, of course, their normal wing T formation. So they're doing a good job of mixing it up. And right now, Moore has 40 yards on 8 carries, and that was a one reception for 20 yards. So he's been the offense for the Flying Eagles.
And, Eric, here's the stat that really stands out. This will be Beckley's 21st play from the line of scrimmage. For Huntington, they've only ran 3 plays from the line and a punt. So that's the key to beating this Huntington team.
Yeah, but if you're Huntington, you're still thinking too. If you can turn them away, you've only ran 3 plays and you've gotten their best. So I think it's imperative that Beckley punch it in right here.
Absolutely, you're reading my mind. It's imperative that Beckley scores a touchdown on this drive as they have a 1st and 10 at the Huntington 12. Going to be a running play. Grayton up inside. He gets down to the 10, maybe inside the 10 as they move the pile. And that offensive line doing a good job getting a good charge, and they'll get 3 yards down to the Huntington 9.
And you know what's good about this possession for the Flying Eagles? They're still able to pick up a first down inside the 1-yard line. So,
yeah.
So it's not all for naught. You're still able to move the chains, and have something to give you 4 more downs.
Right. 7 for the first down, 9 for the touchdown. So it'll be a 2nd down play. Once again, the recipe has been Beckley being very deliberate. They break the huddle with 15 seconds on the play clock. They've controlled the time of possession. Still no score. And here's Beckley with the running play. And that time Huntington was ready for it, and that'll be a loss back to the 10-yard line as that was Moore on the carry.
You want me to put my offensive coordinator hat on here, guys?
3rd down coming up.
I'm running that same play action right there, that action of the play. And I'm going to have my quarterback keep it and run it around the left end.
So we'll see what Beckley comes up with as Jones goes over on the far side, gets the instructions from Coach Street Surratt. 3rd down.
He'd have one person to beat.
As we mentioned, Beckley can get a first down without a touchdown. It's 8 for the first down, 10 for the touchdown from the Huntington 10. Jones up under center. Jones will keep it. He's to the edge. They listen to you, Eric, and he's into the end zone for a Beckley touchdown. As they faked out Huntington, they faked handoff up the middle. They take it to the outside, and Jay Jones with a 10-yard touchdown, and Beckley's on the board. You must have signaled that play into Coach Surratt because they ran exactly what you said as we watch the instant replay here. And Jones had them fooled as he faked the inside handoff and sprints to the outside. And that is a 8-play, 42-yard touchdown drive. And now can Mollahan tack on the extra point. The snap is down, and the kick is up, and it is good. So with 9:18 remaining in the first half, your new score is Beckley 7, Huntington nothing. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
City National Bank, where you can purchase or refinance your home with the no down payment champion mortgage. No down payment, no private mortgage insurance, no kidding. Visit your local branch to get started today. City National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. To learn more, log on to mortgage.bankatcity.com.
Beckley on the board first as they get a 10-yard touchdown run from quarterback Jay Jones, and Mollahan tacks on the PAT. And Beckley right now with 9:18 left in the half, Eric, have a 7-0 lead, and Huntington has only ran 3 plays and a punt. And we'll get into the scoring recap after this kickoff. So right now, everything that Street Surratt has dialed up has worked, and that was a beautiful play call, a.k.a. Eric Thomas, offensive coordinator. Here's Huntington with the kick return. They got a big hole right up the middle. Great field position on a great return across the 45. And I'm looking, I don't see any flags, or is there?
There is a flag.
There is a flag.
And if in the middle of the field, it's going to be in Huntington, a legal block in the back on 30. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll watch right on the replay. But as the referee sorted out, we'll go over that last Beckley touchdown drive, which was an 8-play, 42-yard drive. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. Nothing tastes better in a blue can than the nice, soothing taste of a Pepsi. And right now, Eric, 7-0. The 10-yard touchdown run from Jones. Mollahan tacks on the PAT. Beckley up 7-0. And it looks like it will go against Huntington for a hold. And Huntington had real good field position, and now the field position's okay, but obviously not quite as good as it would have been, and Huntington will start this drive on their own 30-yard line. So it'll be first down for the Highlanders on their own 30-yard line.
So now Huntington will go
starting
to trips.
Rain a little bit.
Yes.
We wasn't expecting rain. Here's Huntington. And with the running play, Beckley's all over it, and that's going to go for a 1-yard loss. I don't think he made it back to the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they give him the 30. I don't think they will. It is a 1-yard loss, and it'll be second down and 11 for Huntington on their own 29-yard line.
Yeah, and that was to Wayne Harris, who is a South Charleston transfer, junior transferred in from South Charleston, and he's also a good basketball player. He'll nice point guard on the hardwood.
And as a receiver, he's caught 29 balls for 524 yards. The average is 18 yards a catch.
They're going empty here.
Yep. Now they put a man in motion, and they're going to run the ball to the far side. They got some room, cross the 30, 35, over the 40, got a first down and more out to midfield. And that's a nice run that time by Jackson, the 5'10", 170-pound sophomore.
Yeah, and that's I think he's their leading rusher, as we see on the replay. And it's a numbers game. The receivers here do a good job of blocking on the edge, setting the edge, and Jackson knows what he's doing with the ball once he gets it up. Yeah, he's carried the ball coming into the game 42 times for 429 yards and 4 scores.
Yeah, that was a 21-yard pickup. 1st and 10 for Huntington. Their first down of the ball game is they'll scrimmage from midfield, as we do have a slight rain. As now we just can't get away from the rain, can we, Eric? After all that rain we had last week at Coal City, here's Huntington with it. They're trying to run here to the near side. Beckley turns it back up inside. Pretty good defense, and actually maybe the defense did a good job, Eric, cutting it back in, but that was a nifty run that time by the Huntington ball carrier to pick up good yardage on 1st down.
Yeah.
Harris, I believe that was.
It was Harris again, and Beckley did a good job of setting the edge. But when you have speed the way Huntington has, you have to pursue the right way. You don't want to overrun the play. So some Beckley defenders are coming, trying to break down, just keeping the ball in front of them. But
yeah, that play will go for 6 to the Beckley 44. It'll be 2nd and 4. Locko waiting on the snap. He fakes it, keeps it himself, got a 1st down inside the 40, down inside the 35, and they'll push the pile to the Beckley 34.
And right now they're going to their 2 best offensive weapons right now on the ground, in Locko and Harris.
That'll be a 15-yard pickup for the quarterback, Locko. And like we said, he's rushed for 338 yards coming into the game and 4 touchdowns. He's just not about throwing. He can run it as he did there.
Yeah, and the thing is this is total, like we said, these teams are total opposites because look at the pace that they play with. You know, they're getting out with 18 on the play clock and ready to roll.
Here's a 1st down from the Beckley 34. Locko waits on the shotgun snap. It's a straight quarterback keeper. He's got running room inside the 30. Cuts it to the outside, 25, 20, 15, 10. He's face mask. It's a face mask as he gets yanked, and here comes all the laundry, and that's an easy play to call, and Huntington will be set up in business with a 1st and goal down inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah. You see on the replay,
watch him get his head yanked around. That's an easy play to call.
He has some serious speed once he gets into the open field,
And that's a dangerous play. Kimball yanked onto the face mask and yanked him all the way around, and the flags came out. And with the personal foul, they'll take it half the distance, I would imagine, as Huntington calls a timeout. So while Huntington calls a timeout and the referees sort it out, we'll take a quick break. You're watching live streaming coverage, high school football here on Video Productions.
My feet is turning like a wheel and beating like a drum.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications or strings or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
Sandwiches, better with Pepsi.
So after the big run and then the penalty on top of it, which is half the distance to the goal on the face mask penalty on Beckley, it'll be 1st and goal for Huntington at the 4-yard line. They'll still run out of the shotgun. Locko waits on the snap. Twin receivers to the far side. Man comes in motion. And Locko's going to throw the ball, and it is dropped.
That was almost picked off in the end zone because the defensive back for Beckley broke on the ball real good on the quick slant, and he pretty much, it was dropped by the Beckley defender. It was bang, bang. Now Huntington guy had a chance, but that was a good break on the ball by the defensive back.
So the clock stops on the incompletion, 6:47 for the half. And you know, Eric, the way Beckley's recipe has been so successful in the first half, it's very limited possessions. This is a very big possession, obviously, on both sides of the ball here.
Yeah, and if you're Beckley, if you can keep them out, hold them to a field goal attempt, that would be a win for your D.
They go trips and hand the ball off to the right side, and that's a touchdown for Jackson, standing up and in. So Jackson scores, and Huntington goes 70 yards in 7 plays, and Huntington is an extra point away from tying it, or will they go for 2 to try to take the lead? As we watch it, they put trips overloaded the near side with trips, and then they ran to the opposite side for Jackson to get into the end zone for a 5-yard touchdown, and now they are an extra point away from tying the game. Waiting on the snap. It's down. The kick is up. It looks good, and it is good. And we've got a whole new ball game. We are now even at 7. So Huntington goes 7 plays, 70 yards. They get a 4-yard touchdown run from Jackson, and with 6:43 left of the half, we're even at 7. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. Nothing takes tastes better in a blue can than the soothing taste of a Pepsi. While we got a minute, also would like to thank our fine sponsors from Indoor Air. Indoor Air, proud sponsor of Raleigh County High School sports for all your heating and cooling needs. Dial the good people up at Indoor Air at 304-890-2212. Also at this time, while we got a minute, we got to throw in our sponsors that help carry the freight. We appreciate that. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. To our live streaming sponsor of Dr. John Tabbitt of West Virginia Orthopedic and Trauma. Whether it's a sports injury or a car accident, Dr. Tabbitt will get you back on your feet, as he is a proud sponsor of high school athletics in southern West Virginia. Got a new ball game, Eric, even at 7, as Huntington gets set to kick it off to the Flying Eagles.
And this game is shaped up to everything we hoped it would be. And as Beckley muffs the kick a little bit.
At the 15, Beckley gets it out over the 30, breaks a tackle and knocked out of bounds in front of the Beckley bench. A good return after the kick, as you said, Eric, was muffed. And on the return that time for Beckley is Elijah Walker. First time we've called his name tonight. And Beckley is in business as they'll start from their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, and this rain, the rain conditions coming in now, this is, I guess it sets up a little bit for Beckley the way they run the ball. If they can keep pounding it and get up, and it can change the tide.
And I don't know if the turf might get a little slick with the rain. Obviously, it's not raining as hard as it was last week when we did the Bluefield Independence game. It started raining at 5 o'clock and it rained on Monday. I mean, it rained for 3 days. But we've got I wouldn't say it's not a hard rain, but it's been a steady rain. As Beckley has a first down from the 40-yard line, it's more, and he's going to get maybe a yard to the 41 as Huntington has stacked the line, and that's going to be a 1-yard gain, 2nd 9 coming up.
Yeah, and what you don't want to do here is go 3 and out. And Beckley's been doing a real good job of at least keep moving the sticks and, keeping Huntington at bay. So you don't want to, after that quick scoring drive, give them the ball right back. And because it's getting at the point in time in the first half, Maris, where Huntington gets the ball to start the third quarter.
That's correct. And,
so you want to do something to avert them scoring before half.
Under 6 minutes, Beckley's got to hustle. They just break the huddle there with 9 seconds on the play clock. They only got 1 timeout left. We're down to 5 on the play clock. They do get it off just in time. It's going to be an inside reverse, and that's not going to go nowhere. Huntington wasn't fooled as they gave the ball to Moore on one side, and Moore tried to give the ball back as they do this kind of a cross buck, and that was Mitchell, and that goes for no gain, and it'll be 3rd and long. Actually, maybe a loss back to the original line of scrimmage and make it 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I think they're going to that was that inside handoff that I had talked about, and Huntington did a good job of staying home and playing that second handoff.
So let's see what Beckley will cook up here on 3rd and 10 from their own 40. 2 plays have resulted in no yards. And as you stated, Eric, and totally agree, Huntington with a little bit of the momentum, I think would gain real momentum if they turn Beckley away on 3 and out. We'll see what they do.
And this is another formation that Beckley's coming out with.
So they're going to run the ball to Moore, and that's not going to get but a couple yards, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. So Beckley does not chance a pass here, and that's only a 2-yard gain, and it's 4th down. If you're Beckley, you got to punt here.
Yeah, you got to punt, and let's look if who I think is an all-state candidate right here, and Mollahan. Let's see if he's kicking into the wind, though. There's a little swirling wind, but the thing you don't want to do is kick it direct. You want to do a directional kick here. You want to live to play defense. You want to kick it out of bounds and angle it somehow.
So on 4th down, Beckley will punt. There's the snap. There's the kick, and it is a good kick. Can they get coverage? It will be returnable from the 25-yard line. There's some room. Cross the 30, 35-40. He's got some running room. Cross midfield. Huntington with a big punt return will set up at the Beckley 42 and still have plenty of time left when 2 timeouts with 4:11 left in a half.
Yeah, and the special teams coming into play right there. And that was a good punt, but it was set up by a great return, great blocking. No yellow flags out there, and Huntington set up in business now.
So they'll put the ball down. They actually say it went out of bounds at the 43-yard line of Beckley, so still a short field for Huntington, and by far their best starting field position. They've started on their own 22 and their own 30, and the last time they went 70 yards and got a touchdown. Now from the Beckley 43. It'll be a 1st down for Huntington. Gavin Locko waits on the snap, puts a man in motion, takes the snap, sets the throws, got time, got a man wide open. It is caught at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown. That was just a busted play, and I don't know, Eric, if they put a wheel route out. We'll have to watch the replay, but the receiver for Huntington was all alone as he hauls it in on the far side and waltzes into the end zone for the go-ahead score.
Yeah, definitely a busted coverage here.
Yeah, it was a wheel route. Watch the replay here as he takes the snap, and that was Jackson, I do believe. Nope, it wasn't Jackson.
No, that wasn't a wheel. It was just
no, it was just what they did, receiver. I think by putting Jackson in motion, it might have confused Beckley, and they had a receiver wide open. That is a 43-yard touchdown pass. The extra point is up and good. And here in just a minute, we'll see who the recipient was of that touchdown. Harris, as I'm told, by our outstanding stat man, Mr. Chris Farish. So that's a 43-yard touchdown pass from Laco to Harris, the PAT good. And with 4:01 left in the first half, Huntington is in front for the first time, Eric, at 14-7.
And the best defense for Beckley has proven to be true is their offense and keeping this high-powered offense on the sideline.
That's a short scoring recap. Is our scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. That's a one-play, 43-yard drive as Gavin Alaco throws his 19th touchdown pass, and Harris hauls it in, wide open on the far side, the point after good, and Huntington has now scored on back-to-back drives, and they take a 14-7 lead with 4:01 remaining here in the first half.
And not only have they scored, they've made it look easy with explosive plays, and this game is far from over, but Beckley's going to have to regroup here because the momentum is starting to slip away.
Well, Eric, you're right. After going 3 and out on their first possession, Huntington has went the last 2 drives, 8 plays, and got 2 touchdowns. Here's the kickoff to the 20. Beckley crosses the 25. There's a flag coming in, and this is probably going to be a hold on Beckley, and Beckley will start in the hole. But right now, the momentum has kind of flipped to the visiting side for the Huntington Highlanders. As we'll wait and see what the call is going to be. We'll get you caught up on some scores, and we will have Inside the Numbers brought to you by Cracker Barrel coming up at halftime. Our outstanding stat man, Mr. Chris Farish. He's on top of it. We got the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing. I'm Maris Lowry with Eric Thomas here from Van Meter Stadium in Beckley. 3:55 for the half. On the penalty, Eric, it'll go back to the 20, and that's where Beckley will start 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, at the most inopportune time right now, pick up a penalty. But if you're Beckley, you desperately need to get a first down on this drive. Yeah. I mean a first down to try to, get in the halftime and regroup.
Well, try to get some momentum. Here's a run and a good gain on first down as Moore gets it across the 25 out to actually they said he's going to get across the 25, which I thought he originally did, and that's a 6-yard gain.
And just what the doctor ordered, a big gainer right there. And Beckley's going to still stick with their what they do, their core. They're not out of it by any means here, but I think it's imperative to string a couple of first downs here.
Well, you're right, Eric, and if you could get a score, even a field goal, but you're right. What you can't do is go 3 and out and give the ball back to Huntington.
Yeah.
So it'll be 2nd and 4 for Beckley on their own 26-yard line. Jones looks over the defense. Look, Huntington, they got 9, maybe almost 10 guys in the box. As Beckley will put a man in motion, they'll run it to Kimball. He breaks the tackle, 30, and he has a first down out at the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Flying Eagles.
Yeah, and that was pretty close to going to the house right there. Good patience, but big holes being opened right now by this offensive line as they've regrouped a little bit on this drive and really going after Huntington.
We're approaching the 3-minute mark of the first half. Once again, Beckley in no hurry, and they haven't been all night, and that's just how they want to play this game, and understandably so. They break the huddle this time at 18 seconds on the play clock. It'll be 1st and 10 on their own 33. Jones up under center, puts a man in motion, which is Kimball. And they're going to come back with the inside handoff, and it's going to be a nice gain out over the 40. That's Moore again, and he gets up to the 40 and pick up 7 yards on first down.
Yeah, they found something in between the center and the left guard.
And Eric, I think that Huntington is confused with that double little inside handoff crossbuck. I think Huntington is confused, and by the time they figure out who has the ball, he's 4 or 5 yards upfield.
That's the thing with this offense. You have to be real disciplined in offensively because they do a lot of double handoffs and stuff, and that's what Beckley's doing.
From the 40, Jones back to pass. Pressure comes. He steps up in the pocket. He eludes the pressure, and now he's going to get sacked back inside the 35. Huntington brought a lot of players, and one player's getting up a little slow, but Jones really had no chance as he had minimal scramble of where to go. There was really no lanes for him to run as we watch the replay here. As you can see, back to pass, pressure came, and just nowhere to run.
Yeah, and the difference in that pass play is they started under center, and it's real hard to do a seven-step drop on a team that's really coming after you for the run anyway. The rush was there, and it was tough to complete a pass.
And Huntington burns a timeout, which is a smart timeout. So now you're looking at third down. Beckley will have the ball in the 35, and they're going to need to get out to the 43. They'll need 8 yards.
8 yards.
And that was a big defensive play. And Huntington, with one more timeout in their pocket, if they can force a punt here, with their high-power offense.
Smart coaching.
They'd have plenty of time to do what they like to do, and that's air it out.
That's a veteran coach, and Coach Billy Seals not taking – you know why? He realizes this is a possession-type game, and if he's able to get 2 scores up, it's going to be real tough for this Beckley team to come back from.
And as you alluded earlier in our broadcast, Eric, Huntington gets the ball to start the second half, and that's why this sequence is real big on this 3rd and 8 for Beckley.
And what's big here? You don't want to throw a pick here if you're Beckley either.
And they're going to run the ball to Grayton. Grayton breaks a tackle, but he's only going to gain a couple of yards, and now Beckley will have to punt as Huntington will burn their final timeout, which is smart with 1:48 left in the half. And really, you don't need timeouts on offense because the clock stops on first down, and 1:48 and no timeouts is plenty of time for this Huntington team.
Yes, and the way that Huntington's offense is clicking on all cylinders right now, it's imperative that Connor Mollahan kick it away, kick something unreturnable.
Yeah.
You want them to scrimmage from a little deeper than the 40-yard line.
And you know how you kick it out. I'm like you kick it out of bounds if you don't want them to return it.
Directional kick.
Huntington got a good return the last time that set up that last touchdown. But after Beckley got up 7-0, Huntington has scored each of the last 2 times they've had the ball. Huntington went 70 yards in 7 plays in the PAT to tie it. And then the last time Huntington had the ball, after that nice punt return, they only needed 1 play to go 43 yards, and Huntington up 14-7 as we come out of the timeout with 1:48 left in the half. So 4th down for Beckley. They have the ball on their own 37-yard line. And Mollahan is set, waiting on the snap. Here comes the kick. And that's a nice kick. And it's going to take a big Beckley bounce.
Well, it hit him at the 30.
It did, and that's where Huntington started a previous drive.
It hit the Beckley stalkblocker.
So Huntington will have the ball, as Eric told you, on their own 30-yard line.
Well, 31.
31. They have no timeouts. But as we mentioned, and if you follow high school sports, the clock stops on first downs like it does in college. So on their own 31, with 1:48 left in the half, and Huntington up 14-7. And they'll run trips to the near sideline. Alaco waits on the snap. He gets it. Has time, sits in the pocket, throws the ball, got a man open. It's caught around right at near midfield. And that ball is caught by Harris. 5'10", 175-pound junior, averaging 18 yards a reception. And that'll be a first down, stop the clock momentarily to move the chains. And that's a 17-yard pickup. And that ball's out to the 49-yard line.
Well, what a strike by the Huntington quarterback. He's got poise, patience.
18-yard pickup. Rather, here's a pass to Jackson. Beckley has that defended well, and that's only going to gain a yard. Huntington's going to have to go quick. They don't have any more timeouts left. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for Huntington right at midfield.
Yeah, and if you're Beckley, you have to do exactly that, keep everything in front of you. And you have to get some sort of a pass rush, but under control because of the wheels of Laco. The way he can run and get out in space, he's tough.
Laco takes a snap. You can't give up the big play, and that pass is a little high and incomplete as he was trying to get the ball.
That was a dropped touchdown right there because he hit him on the post.
Nick Neely is who he's trying to get the ball to.
As we watch it here on the instant replay, Maris, if you look, that's a strike. If he catches that, he'll probably make the safety miss, and he's in the end zone.
So it's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for Huntington at midfield with 1:03 to go. And, Eric, right here is what you talked about. You've got to really be concerned where Laco is because of his scrambling ability.
Looks like some confusion on the defense side of for Beckley.
And now there's a flag.
It might be a legal substitution because they had 12 men.
Who did, Beckley or Huntington?
Beckley.
As you mentioned right before the play started, there was some confusion on the defense because there was 9 seconds on the play clock, so what to delay a game. And let's see. That's a big penalty if it is on Beckley. A big breakdown at this stage of the game, and I think you're right. The official.
There's 11 out. Wait.
Well,
no, he picked it up.
He picked up the flag.
The one guy got off, 85.
Well, you were all over it.
Yeah.
And you're good at math.
Hey, that Ernest T. Bass.
Yeah, you're stumping your foot. 12 minus 1 is 11. So we'll redo it from midfield on 3rd and 9.
Oh, Ernest T. on Eddie Griffith taught me well.
All right, Laco sets, pumps, throws, got a man open, and it's picked off.
Oh, this
right through the hands. Beckley returns the interception back near midfield. That ball should have been caught as it goes off the hands of Miles Metters. As Metters had the ball. The ball was a little high, but still a catchable ball. As Laco sits in the pocket, and on the deflection, it's picked off and going back the other way with a nice return for the Flying Eagles. And let's see who that young man is. That's Elijah Walker on the pick.
Waller,
I beg your pardon. Waller picks it off. And Beckley's in business now as they have the ball on their own 48-yard line. Now, Beckley doesn't have any timeouts.
Well, if anything, though, you did a good job of turning it over.
But here's the thing, Eric. I think with a kicker like Mollahan, you'd at least try maybe to get the ball down the field.
They said that the scoreboard says it has 2 timeouts left.
Well, Beckley, I'm sure they called all 3, but we'll see.
Nope, that's.
And more, and I think they're just maybe trying to run out the half. That will go for a 1-yard loss. And let's see if there is a timeout.
Yeah, they have one.
I guess they do have one.
Hey, so you should have watched a little more Andy Griffin and got your math a little better.
Well, not so much on the math, just not maybe sure who called the timeout, as that's a loss
of 2.
1. Well, from the 48 to the 47. We're getting all this math straightened out. Coming up at halftime, we'll have scores from other games. While we got a minute, I want to tell you about our live streaming coverage. Our streaming sponsor, Dr. John Tabbitt at West Virginia Orthopedic Trauma. Whether it's a sports injury or a car accident, Dr. Tabbitt will get you back on your feet. West Virginia Orthopedic Trauma, a proud sponsor of high school athletics in southern West Virginia. Also want to thank Indoor Air at this time. Indoor Air, another proud sponsor of high school sports in southern West Virginia. And Indoor Air, you can dial them up 304-890-2212 for all your heating and cooling needs. So we appreciate that. Coming up at halftime, the Cracker Barrel. Inside the numbers, man, I can taste that Cracker Barrel pig right now. Love me some bacon and some sausage from Cracker Barrel. 2nd down for Beckley out of the timeout on their own 47-yard line. Jones takes the snap. It's going to be a little screen pass to Moore. Moore gets across midfield, breaks a tackle and falls forward. He's at the Huntington 45. It's going to be 3rd and short coming up for the Flying Eagles.
Yeah, but they got to run with some pace here now.
And that play was effective earlier in this half, and the ball's right at the Huntington 45.
Yeah, that little pass play right there is what set up the score for Beckley in the first quarter.
And, Eric, I think if you're now Beckley letting all this time run off, maybe you're going to throw a Hail Mary to the end zone because Beckley looks like they're in no hurry. And with 14 seconds left in the half, you'd think you'd take a shot at the end zone here. We'll see what they do. This might be the last play of the half. 5 seconds, and they've just wasted a lot of time, and I don't even know if they're going to run a play. But you think they would at least take a shot to the end zone, and now they take their final timeout with 2 seconds. So now with 2 seconds left, you think they will throw the ball to the end zone here.
I guess, but with a kicker like
Mollahan,
I would have maybe tried to run it out, something pick up 10 yards, something sideline, and get your field goal.
Well, here's another thing. With that other timeout, even if you threw the ball down the center of the field and you caught it,
yeah, you could.
The clock would stop to set the chains, but you had that other timeout in your
pocket. Yeah.
So, but now it makes me think that if you're going to run the clock down to 2 seconds, you have the ball at the Huntington 45. You might as well let Jones just get back and throw the ball as far as he can throw it.
Maybe
and see if you can get a tip drill, right?
Or you get interference. It can't end on a defensive penalty.
Right.
And then you'll be able to run an untimed down and kick one.
Right, a 15-yard penalty would get the ball to the 30. But you got to think, though, if you're going to run it down to 2 seconds, that you would definitely take a shot. You would throw the ball. You wouldn't run it here. We'll see what they do. And they're going to work out of the shotgun. So it makes me think that, obviously, and with 2 seconds, you think they would throw it. And there's the snap, and they will. Jones ought to just throw it as far as he can, and that's what he does. Throws the ball down the far sideline, up for it. It's picked off to the 20, far side 30, crosses the 40, midfield, and he runs it all the way back as the half ends inside the Beckley 45. But what has been a very entertaining first half at the break here at Van Meter Stadium in Beckley. Your score is Huntington 14, Beckley 7. We'll be back as we recap the first half as you are watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
What's important to you when buying windows, siding, and doors?
Is it energy savings, cost, quality, warranty, or perhaps color options, low maintenance, service, or financing options?
Or all of the above. Window World offers it all.
We listen to your needs and go above and beyond your expectations. Schedule your free, no obligation, in-home estimate by calling Window World of Beckley today.
Welcome to Allstate. You already paid for car insurance. Why not take your home along for the ride? Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Call a local agent or 1-800-ALLSTATE for a quote today.
And we welcome you to the Massey Power Sports Halftime Show with Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry. We have the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, on producing, directing, camera, directing traffic here in the press box. He's doing it all. He drove the bus, made sure we got here, gave us sandwiches. He did everything. And, of course, we have Mr. Reliable, and that is Mr. Chris Farish working on stats. But before we get to Chris Farish, Eric, real quickly, a very good competitive first half. And I think even though Beckley's down 14-7, I think the Street Surratt blueprint went very well for the biggest part in the first half.
Yeah, and it was just as we thought. Both teams did what they needed to do in the first half, and Huntington did a good job of bouncing back after that prolonged drives of, Beckley playing keep away and getting up. They were able to come back with their quick strike offense.
And, Beckley, the first drive, 15 plays, and they took almost right at like 9 minutes off the clock and didn't get any points, and we thought they was going to get a touchdown, and they even got a break on that, a fourth down personal foul that extended the drive, and they still couldn't cash in on it.
Yeah, still couldn't cash in on and the thing is with Beckley, anytime they were able to get points, they have to cash in on it. It's imperative because this Huntington offense is as advertised. They can score many different ways, many different weapons, and their quarterback is the real deal.
And Beckley scored first. They had an 8-play, 42-yard drive, and they got on a third down play a Jones 10-yard run, and Mollahan tacked on the PAT, and Beckley was looking good, leading by the score of 7-0. But after Huntington on their first drive, they went 3 and out. Then Huntington had a 7-play, 70-yard drive in which they tied the game at 7-7, and then a punt return set Huntington up at the Beckley 43, and a defensive breakdown allowed a wide-open receiver for Huntington to get open, and Huntington hit the touchdown pass of 43 yards out, added the PAT, and there's where we are at the break at 14-7.
Yeah, and that explosive play and breakdown, Huntington puts a lot of pressure on your communication skills, not just your defense, because they, like you said, they ran motion and overloaded the right side of the field, which is left side of the defense, and there was a breakdown in defending that. And you see it on all levels, and in the pros even. If somebody's running wide open, someone messed up.
And I think that's a great point. You do see it on all levels, and I agree with you. It's more about communication than maybe where you need to line up. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and take our first Massey Power Sports halftime break. When we come back, we'll have the Cracker Barrels Inside the Numbers as you're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
As a former college football player, I realized that sports-related injuries can happen real fast. Hello, I'm Dr. Gross. If your child or grandchild is dealing with sports-related injuries, or maybe you're dealing with something that just won't go away, call me today and I can help you get back on the playing field. To better serve you, see us at one of our 3 locations in Beckley, Whipple, and Sophia at the numbers listed below. So take care of yourself. You deserve it.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. You keep us going. Thank you.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications, or strings, or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
City National Bank, where you can purchase or refinance your home with the no down payment Champion Mortgage. No down payment, no private mortgage insurance, no kidding. Visit your local branch to get started today. City National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. To learn more, log on to mortgage.bankatcity.com.
Sandwiches, better with Pepsi.
And welcome back to Van Meter Stadium at the Massey Power Sports Halftime Show with Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry, Chris Farish on stats, and the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing. At the break, it's a 7-point Huntington lead at 14-7, and we're going to go inside the numbers. And inside the numbers brought to you by Cracker Barrel with locations in Beckley and Princeton. And I can smell that crisp bacon and that pig. I love them some sausage links from Cracker Barrel. So, Eric, it's been a good first half, well-played first half, and you have the numbers of the first half.
Yeah, exactly, Maris. And the numbers reflect how close this game is in the first half. And Beckley's done a good job of holding this high-powered offense down by keeping their offense on the field. But when Huntington's been able to get on the field, they're real explosive. They have 127 total yards, and they have 65 yards on the ground and 62 through the air. But the quarterback, who is awesome, he's 3 of 7 with an interception, only his second interception of the season, and 1 touchdown right now for
Gavin
62 yards.
Locko, with that touchdown, he's got 19 touchdowns on the year, and as you mentioned, and now 2 picks as he got that one. And the one that he got picked really should have been caught.
Yes. Yeah, deflection, but that still is an interception in the
goes on the quarterback, yep.
Yeah, but and Beckley has 118 yards and 90, of course, on the ground and 28 through the air, and they're led by senior Mike Moore. He has 54 yards on 14 carries. Matt Moore has 14 totes, 54 yards, and he's really been able to move the pile and get key first downs. And he's also caught their leading receiver with 2 catches for 28 yards out of the 118 total yards. But the story of the game, you can see it reflects in the first downs. Beckley has 6 first downs to Huntington's 3. But Huntington's winning the game because they're very explosive.
Yeah, and also I think, as I mentioned in our last segment before we talked about this, that first drive for Beckley where they didn't get any points and they turned it over on downs, it was 15 plays. It took almost 9 minutes off the clock, and they had an opportunity what looked like it was going to be a touchdown that they didn't connect on, and then Huntington had a roughing the passer penalty, kept the drive alive, and then Beckley turned it over on downs.
Yeah, and that was a key possession right there, and if they were able to cash in right there. But let's see what they come up with here at halftime adjustments by both teams.
And I think that'll be very important, the halftime adjustments that they make. We'll take our second break. When we come back, we'll see if you can get you caught up on some scores around the state of West Virginia. This is the Massey Power Sports Halftime Show as we're streaming live here on Video Productions.
Massey Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
You have a goal. You know what you want. Start with us. New River Community and Technical College, your community college. Take classes online or in a classroom in Beaver, Lewisburg, Summersville, or Princeton, or step outside the classroom in one of our technical or health programs. Find flexible and affordable options to help you reach your goal. It's closer than you think when you start with us. New River Community and Technical College. Apply today.
Dad, what is a backflow prevention device?
Well, it's a device that's used to protect water supplies from contamination or pollution in homes or businesses.
Is that why you were talking to that man?
Well, he was a certified plumber from Modley's Plumbing and Heating. Modley's is fully licensed and insured in testing, installation, and service of backflow prevention devices. I just call 304-253-HELP, and they'll take care of it the right way.
I thought it was something for the car, so Mom wouldn't hit the house again when she was backing up.
Beckley Auto Mall, West Virginia's largest GMC Buick dealer, is a proud sponsor of West Virginia High School athletics and our area student athletes. Beckley Auto Mall, with 3 locations for your convenience: 3934 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley, 199 Rogers Street, Princeton, and 368 Seneca Trail in Fairleigh. Plus, you can shop 24/7 at BeckleyAutomall.com. Beckley Auto Mall and West Virginia student athletes, a winning combination. GMC, we are professional grade.
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium in Beckley on a beautiful night here on this 7th day of October. And halftime continuing on. It was Hall of Fame night here at Beckley tonight as they inducted 2 more members into the Beckley Football Hall of Fame. And at the break, Huntington is in front 14-7 as we welcome you into the Massey Power Sports halftime show. And Eric, during the time you were loading up some scores, so what you got?
We're going to start in single A, something with a local flavor. Greenbrier West, undefeated, only giving up 12 points on the whole year. They went down the road to play James Monroe in a battle of ranked teams, and James Monroe was up 17-0 in the second. In AAA local flavor, Oak Hill and Greenbrier East, 2 opponents of this Beckley team. Oak Hill's up 13-7 at halftime.
And, of course, Beckley will play at Oak Hill in a couple of weeks. Beckley has Princeton next, and then I think a bye week, and then Oak Hill before they close out with George Washington.
And Beckley's next opponent, Princeton, traveled down to Hurricane to play of the battle of ranked teams, and they're losing that game 21-7 in the second quarter.
And Hurricane is very good. And Princeton's got a good team, but that's a tough task for Princeton on the road against a very good Hurricane team.
Yeah, that's number 6 versus number 11 in the latest poll. And let's try to get us some AA scores.
See what we got in Class AA. I think Bluefield was playing Pikeview tonight.
Yeah, okay, ranked teams. Logan's at Scott, and Scott is number 1 in the polls, and they are up 20-6 in the second quarter over Logan at home. North Marion, 14. Elkins, 0. Winfield, 43. Polka, nothing in the third quarter. Spring Mills is playing number 7 Frankfort at Frankfort, a AAA Spring Mills. So, and they're winning 14-13 at halftime.
Yep.
So, you know, we cover Independence, and
they're off tonight.
They're off tonight, but I bet they're interested in a lot of these scores, because one thing's going to hold them back is their strength of schedule, like who they beat as opposed those teams aren't going to beat him.
And not only that, they only have 9 games, which they had last year, and they were able to get the number 2 slot, and there's where they are now, but I don't know if that'll sustain. But they do have a big game where they could get a lot of points, and we'll have that in a couple weeks when they play Nicholas County.
Well, Bluefield is up 24-12.
And that's against
at Pikeview. At Pikeview, yes.
Yeah. So we got this beautiful light show going on as they got these new set of lights here at Van Meter Stadium. And, of course, you know, here at the campus of Woodrow, actually the Woodrow Wilson High School, Beckley. And, of course, they have Beckley in the end zone, and Beckley always on their uniform. And I've watched them play for over 50 years and always known them as Beckley. But they've got a lot of things happening here at the school and under construction and with the stands and some other things they got going on. So a lot of good things happening here. But these lights are really outstanding, and they have an excellent light show as they just had.
Let me squeeze in one more local. I can't forget Shady Spring. Man traveled up to Shady Spring, and they're up 21-7 in the third quarter.
Man is correct?
Yes.
Man is. Okay, with that, we will take our final halftime break, come back, get you ready for the second half as Huntington leads Beckley 14-7. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
Welcome to Allstate. You already paid for car insurance. Why not take your home along for the ride? Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Call a local agent or 1-800-ALLSTATE for a quote today.
Every year, the big banks raise their fees while reducing the services they provide. How do they get away with that? If you were to join Pioneer Community Bank, your money would stay right here, supporting a local business, which results in lower fees and better customer service for you. Sounds like a plan. So you're not really stuck with the big banks and their policies. Keep your money where it belongs, right here with Pioneer Community Bank. Pioneer Community Bank with locations in Beckley, Yeager, Sophia, Moore, and Welch. Member FDIC.
What's more important to you when buying windows, siding, and doors?
Is it energy savings, cost, quality, warranty, or perhaps color options, low maintenance, service, or financing options?
Or all of the above. Window World offers it all.
We listen to your needs and go above and beyond your expectations. Schedule your free, no obligation in-home estimate by calling Window World of Beckley today.
Yo, Adrian, need to get over to Hometown Kia in Beckley. You got a prize-winning lineup of new Kias over there. And these new Kias are real contenders. Mickey even likes the new Telluride to ride back and forth to the gym. Those guys at Hometown Kia in Beckley, they are in the corner fighting for you through the whole deal. So if you're out there in the market for a new ride, don't go 10 rounds with one of those other dealers. Get over to Hometown Kia of Beckley for a real knockout deal. Get a new Kia from Hometown Kia. That's how winning is done.
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium. And at the break, Huntington's in front of Beckley 14-7. And we are moments away from starting the second half. And keys to the second half are brought to you by Indoor Air, proud sponsor of Raleigh County Sports. For all your heating and cooling needs, you want to dial up the good people at Indoor Air, 304-890-2212. So, Eric, first of all, we want to put your Billy Seals coaching hat on if you are the Highlanders. What is your Indoor Air keys to the second half with the 14-7 lead?
This first drive, going down and scoring, because I think Billy Seals feels that if he can go down and score and put it at a two-score advantage, he can really predict what Beckley's going to do. It's going to put them in where they must throw, kind of abandon what they're doing. And on the flip side, if you're Beckley, if you can get a stop and get this game tied back up, where you can just still continue to do what you do and try to shorten the game and get it into the fourth quarter, make it a last possession game type of thing.
Yeah, I totally would agree with that. I think for Beckley to pull this game out, they got to stay within one score because, as you said, if Huntington is able to go up 2 scores, it kind of takes Beckley out of what they really like to do. And Beckley is a very run-heavy first, run-heavy second. And even though they do mix up the pass, no question they live off the run.
But it's situational.
Right. And with that big, good offensive line for Beckley, you want to be able to live off the run. And a lot of teams have a hard time with that big offensive line that Beckley has out there.
Yeah, and it wore on Huntington a little bit, but, Huntington's got the depth and the size, to really hang with Beckley. But any time that they've caused problems with Beckley, it's been first down, holding Beckley to negative yards or not many on first down and getting them behind the chain, so to speak.
And, Eric, as you are talking, I'm watching the Beckley field goal kicker, Mollahan, and he kicked that one from 45, and it was right there on the money. So we know what kind of leg he has should it come down to this as Beckley makes their way back out on the field, and now Huntington back on the field as well. But we think we're going to be in for a very entertaining second half. We had an entertaining first half. Beckley scored first on a Jones touchdown run of 10 yards to go up 7-0, and then on back-to-back possessions, Huntington able to tie the game and then take the lead. And really, I think Beckley has played really good defense. They've just had the one defensive breakdown where Huntington hit the touchdown, and we talked about it in an earlier segment. More of a communication thing than anything else, as Huntington had a receiver running wide open on the far side, and Huntington able to see that and get into the end zone for a touchdown.
Right, it goes hand in hand. I know they've had the film study, and it's just communication, and that's half the battle. In this day and age, with the way people air it out and attack defenses, you're going to have to be real. You're going to have to be real sound in the defensive backfield and on the same page, or a big play like that will happen.
Yeah, that was a touchdown pass from Gavin Alako to Harris that covered 43 yards for the score. So we're moments away from getting the second half started. We'll let you know that the opening drive of the second half is brought to you by Beckley Auto Mall, GMC. We are professional grade. It's been a beautiful night here, and we did have just a little bit of rain. And as I look into the lights, Eric, it looks like we might have just maybe a mist going, but not enough rain to really affect what's going out on the field.
Yeah, and I think the wind has picked up just a little bit more. If you look at the flags, on the goalposts.
The one thing about this series, Huntington has dominated, especially of recent times. Huntington has won the last 11 in this series. Beckley has not beaten Huntington in football since 2010, and I was part of the radio coverage for Beckley for 31 years, and well, there was a lot of tough times of Beckley trying to beat Huntington. But Eric, if memory serves me, and of course as older I get, I say everything's in my brain except for what isn't. But I don't recall Beckley over that stretch of those 11 games being this close at halftime to Huntington in any one of those previous 11 straight wins by Huntington.
Yeah, and it's pretty much been over by halftime, but that's why, as we stated, none of those previous 11 games matter because half of these kids were 7, 8 years old, don't even really remember, and but Huntington, yet still as quickly as they can score, it's still, Beckley has to really bear down and play really, really disciplined defense, I think, here in this third quarter, Maris.
Well, Huntington now, as they make their way here to the nearest sideline, right up below us, and we got a pretty good crowd here on this Friday night. And, of course, Eric, now we're at week 7. Of course, there are 11 weeks of the regular season before we get into playoff. And, every game is big, but especially moving forward as teams not only battle to get into the playoffs, but they battle for playoff position and trying to get home field at least 1 and maybe 2 games.
Yeah, because, anything can happen if you can get, your one home game. Someone could get upset and you be the higher seed and
get another home game.
Yeah, right. So it's imperative, the jockeying begins right from here on out. Every game's a playoff game, from here on that if you're jockeying to get.
Especially Beckley because they're number 9, and what a big win this would be for obvious reasons. Be the biggest win in Surratt's 7 years as head coach of Beckley if he's beat Huntington here tonight, and it would put Beckley in position to perhaps get a home game. They still got to play Princeton, Oak Hill, and George Washington. There is a bye week in there as well, so 3 games for Beckley after tonight, and what a huge shot in the arm this would be if Beckley could pull it out.
Yeah, and 3 tough tilts too because they have to go on the road
Twice.
to Princeton.
Yeah.
And, George Washington is George Washington, but Oak Hill's a rival game, and you got to go. I mean, you're going to have to be ready to buckle it up and strap it up and be ready to go.
Yeah, the Princeton and Oak Hill games are on the road. George Washington is the next time we'll be back here at Van Meter Stadium. That's November 4th. That's the last night of the regular season. And that could be for either perhaps a playoff spot or for home field. But we'll deal with that when we get to that as we're ready for the second half now, as Huntington's got it teed Mollahan's got it teed up for Beckley between the hashes at the 40, and Huntington will work right to left as we're ready to start the second half. So main thing is they got to cover. Huntington has got explosive returners.
Yeah, I would take another directional kick and try to keep it away. Mollahan's got a strong enough leg, but I think with this wind kicking a little bit into the wind, may keep it out of the end zone.
Maybe let's see if he'll want to squib it right down the center of the field. We'll see what he does as Mollahan approaches the football. And he kicks an onside kick, takes a big hop, and they bounce around, and Huntington's going to get it. They're going to start over the 40. So Beckley takes a chance there, and maybe not a bad chance, but Huntington will have great field position.
But they actually had a chance to get that. It actually went through the first guy's hand, and the second back for Huntington came up and got it.
They're going to start at the 43-yard line. But, that was a great kick because you got that big hop,
you got
what
the
you
big
want.
Second hop,
right,
too, yeah.
on turf, and that's what you want. But Huntington able to recover it. So Huntington will start their first possession of the second half, 1st and 10, working right to left on their own 43-yard line.
And that in itself shows you how big this possession that Beckley believes this possession is.
So here comes Huntington. Gavin Locko with a touchdown pass. Earlier in the game, now has 19 touchdowns. He also threw a pick, so he's got 19 touchdown passes, and he's got Beckley's offsides.
Oh, Beckley's offsides.
And I don't think they called it. And Huntington breaks it up inside. They didn't call it. Here's a big run to the 40, to the far side, Jackson 30, inside the 20, to the 10, and down at the 6-yard line. And I don't see a penalty, but I don't know how they missed that because the Beckley guy was clearly across the line before the ball was snapped, and it doesn't matter as we watch the instant replay. And you can see Beckley way off sides. But Huntington breaks a big play, and with no flag, Huntington will just take the result of it, of course. And they run him out of bounds, they say, at looks like the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
Yeah, I thought that was going for 6 as the defensive back I didn't get to see who it was able to track the running back for Huntington down.
That's a 49-yard run to the Beckley 8-yard line. And here's the keeper right up the middle and into the end zone for a touchdown. That is Alako, and just like that, a big play scoring drive for Huntington. 2 plays, 57 yards, and just what we talked about, Eric, is what Beckley didn't want to have happen. Huntington able to extend the lead as we watch the replay, and just right up the middle into the end zone for a Huntington touchdown.
Well blocked, well executed, and just the big play capability. This Huntington team will be a load for anyone in the state.
So that's an 8-yard touchdown run for Alako. That will be his 5th touchdown run of the year. The PAT's good. Your new score is Huntington 21, Beckley 7, 11:46 left in the third quarter. We'll take a break. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
Name is Hank, and I'm coming clean. Everyone I know thinks I know something about plumbing. Oh, I look the part. I talk the talk. I have all the tools, snake, pipe wrenches, torches, but I can't fix anything. I can't even flush a toilet. What they don't know is I've been calling Modley's Plumbing and Heating. They're fully licensed and insured. I just simply call 304-253-HELP, and here they come down the road to fix the problem. It just feels so good to get rid of the guilt.
As a former college football player, I realized that sports-related injuries can happen real fast. Hello, I'm Dr. Gross. If your child or grandchild is dealing with sports-related injuries, or maybe you're dealing with something that just won't go away, call me today and I can help you get back on the playing field. To better serve you, see us at one of our 3 locations in.
Here's the kickoff.
Why is he dead?
Beckley with a nice run. Gets the ball back in excellent field position at the 45-yard line. But let's go back to Huntington's touchdown drive, and it was real quick. It was a 2-play, 57-yard drive. The big play was set up with the big running play, but the quarterback, Gavin Alako, able to finish it off with an 8-yard touchdown run. The PAT good. 2 plays, 57 yards, and the scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. Now Eric Beckley has it. Good field position. Beckley will start 1st and 10 on their own 45-yard line.
And this is great field position, as you stated. Now, I think they were able to really to do something with it when they started. I think they started probably the same position on their scoring drive in that first half.
Well, this is a very big possession. Here's a running play. It'll be Moore, and he bangs his way up to midfield and picks up 5. Boy, he's a tough, hard runner.
Yeah, he is. He's a load. As you said, Matt Moore, the big 5'10", 232-pound senior, and he's every bit of that. There's no fudging. You know how you usually in your program you'll fudge the weight, add 10 pounds to him. They might take 10 pounds off of him. He's a big load.
Yeah, when he gets on the scale, nobody's got to put their foot on it to add extra weight. That's a 5-yard gain out to midfield, 2nd and 5. Once again, Beckley in no hurry. 15 seconds left on the play clock as they get to the line of scrimmage. Jones up under center out of the I formation. It's going to be a handoff. That's going to be Mitchell up inside, and he's going to get close to the first down, but he's going to be a little short. Beg your pardon, Nate Grayton on the carry. And he's going to get the ball down to the 47-yard line of Huntington. They're going to need 2 yards here on 3rd down.
One thing that I've noticed, other than Moore, I know they're different kind of backs. You can't dance in the hole. Moore punches it up in there and gets what the defense is giving them. And the other backs are a little more speedy. And I think they just need to really take a page from Moore and punch it up in there.
So 3rd and 2 at the Huntington 47 for Beckley. Jones turns around, hands it off. They'll move the pile close to the first down. I'm not sure if he got there, but no question if he didn't, they'll come back and go for it. He's going to be a little short, Eric, to where the side judge is standing. They're going to need about a half a yard on 4th down.
Yeah, that was it's really tough running straight at this Huntington defense. I mean, they have a few big men in the middle of that defense, and this is a big 4th down here.
Yeah, and actually it's closer to a full yard. The ball's at the 46. They got to get to or over the Huntington 45.
Yeah, that's that old right foot, left foot spot, the way he was running. But, yeah.
So here's a 4th down play for Beckley. Jones up under center. They might quarterback sneak it. Nope, they're going to run the play to Moore, and that last-ditch effort able to squeeze through there and pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, and that looked like that was stopped for 0 yards, and Moore was able to squirt through, get small, get skinny in the hole, and pick up 3.
Yeah, much needed 1st down for Beckley. At the 43 of Huntington, he got 3 yards, as you mentioned. And Eric, when the play first developed, I didn't think he was going to get there.
Yeah, I thought he was stuffed, and he kept those legs turning and was able to pick up the 1st down, a much needed 1st down.
So at the Huntington 43, 1st and 10 for Beckley.
Okay, they're going with the I formation here this time.
Jones up under center. They're going to run the ball to Moore. Moore spins his way and gets inside the 40 to the Huntington 39-yard line.
This Moore, Matt Moore is a good-looking football player.
He is. He's one of the better backs that you and I have had. We've seen so many good football players of all the different teams we cover. But you talk about a real ground and pound, smash and dash back, that's him.
He's not flashy. He's just great. But he's going to give you extra effort every play.
So the ball's put down at the Huntington 39-yard line. It'll be a 2nd down play coming up for the Flying Eagles. Beckley once again in no hurry, 13 on the play clock. They turn around, guess who? Give the ball to Moore, and that time Huntington's ready for it, and they still try to move the pile, and they don't blow the whistle, and now they do. That might get about a yard. Not much there as Huntington was ready for it that time.
Yeah, I mean, Huntington's halftime adjustments looks like to even more with the 2-score game. They're really going to crowd that box. They're going to put 8, 9 heavy in the box.
They're going to give it a 1-yard gain to the Huntington 38-yard line, and no question 2 downs in order to pick this up. Is they've got 5 yards that they need to pick up. So it'll be 3rd and 5 coming up at the Huntington 38 with a man in motion. They're going to run the ball, and that's a good defensive play by O'Keel. I beg your pardon, Huntington, and that was a tough play. And I don't know why I said O'Keel. I was thinking, I know Beckley plays O'Keel. That time the ball carrier was Leon Smith, and he got stood up. And here's a big 4th down play. The ball was put down at the Huntington 37-yard line. And they are going to need 4 yards on 4th down. So it opens the playbook here, Eric, to either throw the ball or run. And I imagine since Beckley hangs their hat on the run, we'll probably see the run.
Yeah, and let me give you a score update. This game is back and forth. Cabell Midland retakes the lead over Spring Valley, 21-17 in the fourth quarter.
Big play here on 4th and 4. Moore goes in motion. They're going to roll Jones. He looks to throw. He's under big pressure, and he's going to get sacked across midfield. Huntington had it covered. They fooled him once when Jones had the touchdown, but Huntington wasn't fooled, and now there's a penalty flag at the end of the play, and now another penalty flag. As one of the Beckley players, I didn't see if he took his helmet off or if he had it ripped off, but there are 2 flags out, and we'll have to watch this on the replay to see what happened.
As the refs try to sort it out,
Let's see. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell. Looked like the Beckley player maybe took. Let's see if he got it ripped off or if he took it off right here. He took off his helmet and threw it down in frustration. That's going to be a penalty on Beckley. So not only does Beckley turn it over on downs, then they lose a little bit of composure and they give up 15 yards as the young man for Beckley slams his helmet down, and that'll get Huntington deep in Beckley territory at the 35-yard line. And, Huntington's good enough. You don't want to help them out and give them a short field, but Huntington will now have it 1st and 10 as their defense comes up big at the Beckley 35.
Yeah, Huntington was all over that play call, and that's one thing they were able to do, force Beckley into predictable offense.
So here's Huntington. Let's see if they'll go for the juggler. If not, they'll hand the ball. Actually, not a handoff, just a quarterback keeper. Inside the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. It's going to be a Huntington touchdown. Another one-play drive as Gavin Alaco able to go 35 yards after Huntington's defense turned Beckley away. And just like that now, Eric, the game is kind of getting away a little bit from Beckley. The lead now goes to 27-7.
Yeah, 27-7 and big play capability. Just speed right here and just well blocked and just a direct quarterback keeper and well blocked, well executed.
The last 3 Huntington touchdown drives, Eric, 1 play, 2 play, 1 play. So they have scored as the extra point is up and it is good. With 6:54 left in the third quarter, your new score is Huntington 28 and Beckley 7. We'll take a break as you're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
The earth beneath my feet is turning like a wheel and beating like a drum.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications or strings or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family.
Here comes the kickoff, and it's a deep kickoff. Ball goes back to the 10-yard line. Here's Beckley on the return. And Huntington covers it well. There's a flag coming in, and Beckley's going to start this drive in the hole. As for Beckley, that time it was Elijah Waller, and he had to go back and get the kick, and then we have a flag. But while we got a minute, let's go back and do that last scoring recap, Eric. And just after Huntington turned Beckley over on downs, only need 1 play. And lockout, 35-yard touchdown run. A 1-play, 35-yard touchdown run. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. And now Huntington has pulled away, Eric, with 2 possessions here in the third quarter and 2 touchdowns, and now lead 28-7.
Yeah, and Beckley did a good job of playing disciplined football, early in the first half. And now the penalties are starting to pile up, and now they're deep in the hole inside the 10, down 3 scores.
So Beckley will start this drive after the penalty. They'll put the ball down, looks to be the 7-yard line, maybe the 8. And we're going to call it the 8-yard line. And that's where Beckley will have it 1st and 10. But now, Eric, does this take Beckley out of what they like to do? Does this make them want to throw the ball a little more?
No, I don't think in the field position they're in, but they've come out and spreading it out a little bit. But look for them to run out of this.
And that's exactly what they do, and I think Huntington's ready for that, and that play's going to go nowhere. And, Beckley went with twin receivers to the far side, and I think that Huntington knows now that they can stack the box and try to force Beckley to throw the ball.
Beckley was trying to do formation-wise, trying to get lighten that box a little bit. But I think in that scenario, I think the quarterback has only kept the ball one time, and it was for a touchdown. I really wish the read option is really not a read option if you don't pull it every now and then. So
on that play, it'll go for a 1-yard loss, and it'll go back to the 7-yard line, make it 2nd and 11. And as you mentioned, Huntington they load up in the box as we approach 6 minutes for the third. Here's Beckley. Here's a handoff. Flag comes in where you normally get holding. And as you mentioned, Eric, Beckley had played pretty good, penalty-free football, but they kind of lost their composure on when they got held on downs. They had a penalty on the kickoff, and now it looks like a holding penalty here. And if you're Huntington, you'll probably take the result of the play.
Yeah, I think you'll decline this.
And there's the penalty. It's going to be a chop block.
Oh, engaged, I guess one.
Yep, and if Huntington, that might be lost down and goes half the distance anyway. They're going to send them back, it does look like, and they are. And I'm not sure, I beg your pardon, because the rules change on, and you and I talk about it, it's not all the way through, but apparently they will get the down over as the ball goes back inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. So it'll still be 2nd down, but Beckley will have the ball at the 3. And there's not very many play calls when you're backed up on your own 3-yard line. You're down 3 scores.
Quarterback sneak, try to get it out a little bit.
And you got to get the ball out over the 15 for a 1st down. And Beckley just tries to plow the ball straight ahead. And it'll get the ball out maybe to the 5-yard line. And that's about it.
Yeah, that was a QB keeper.
Yep. You must have a pipeline down to what they're calling here, as it's going to be a 3rd down. You were totally correct on Beckley's touchdown run, as you said that's exactly what they should do, and that's exactly what they did, and the result was a touchdown.
See, right here, if you want to go a little bit of shotgun, try to spread it out light in the box, I think a quarterback keeper here, they're going to key on more. They're going to go into tight formation here.
It's going to be 3rd and long. They have the ball at the 5. They got to get out to the 18-yard line, and they are going to run the ball up inside and hope that maybe one of their guys can break it, and they will not be able to. As Huntington stacks that up, it's going to force a Beckley punt, if not out of their own end zone, at least right there on the goal line where the Beckley punter will have to stand.
Yeah, that was Tylee Kimball that time on the carry. Did a good job trying to spin away, but Huntington's defense is really they've shown that they can tackle a lot better here in this 3rd period.
So it'll be punt time for Beckley, and they will have Mollahan. He'll stand right back in the end zone, and Huntington should get very good field position, even though Mollahan has kicked the ball well tonight. As we approach 4.5 to go, here's the snap. There's the kick. That's a nice booming kick, but Huntington will field it on their side of the field. They'll bring the ball inside the 45, come to the near side, back across the way, inside the 40, got a wall to the 30, 25-20. 15, there's a flag, and it's going to come back. That's a touchdown, but it looks like he's going to come back as that's Wayne Harris, the 5'10", 175-pound junior, as he came from the far side to the near side, reversed his field, and he gets into the end zone for what would be a Huntington touchdown, but I think that's going to be nullified due to a penalty.
I actually saw the block in the back. Usually it's a play where you could just – I would teach the blockers, once he reverses field,
just don't do nothing.
Just pick him. Just like it's a basketball pick. Just stand there. You don't have to block and make the knockout hit. With that speed, he was going to waltz into the end zone. Had a convoy.
So
looked like Smokey and the Bandit when he was leading. Had a long way to go and a short time to get there.
Well, Huntington, they've made a short time to get there, which has been the end zone, because they've had some quick striking drives. As they will take over now with the penalty at the Beckley 41-yard line. So Huntington has had a 1-play, 2-play, and 1-play scoring touchdown drive on their last 3 touchdown drives, Eric. So you're right, it's been quick. The first touchdown drive took all of 7 plays, but the other 3 drives combined don't equal 7.
Yeah, and they found something with the quarterback keepers and the quick hitters in the run game.
And there, as you say that, here's a good run. That's going to get 8, close to 9 yards on 1st down, and that is Zach Jackson, the 5'10", 170-pound sophomore, and he picks up I'm going to say he's got a 1st down. They'll give him all the way to the 30-yard line, and he got 11 on the play.
Yeah, and it's just good old-fashioned football now, just lining up and running straight at the teeth of the defense and letting your speed and your athleticism take over.
So after Huntington was down 7-0, they're trying to deliver the knockout blow, and they may already have, but maybe if they score here, they will. So here's a running play off the left side. Gets down inside the 30-yard line. Huntington has scored 28 unanswered as the clock continues to move, approaching 3:40 left here, third quarter, and that's going to be a couple yards. Going to give him maybe 2 yards to the Beckley 28. 2nd down and 8 coming up. Next week, we'll be down in Glen Daniel, West Virginia. It'll be Logan and Liberty. That's a game we'll have.
I was just getting ready to give that score. Liberty is losing to Single A Midland Trail 30-0.
That's down at Glen Daniel tonight. Here comes Huntington. Put a man in motion. Pitch. Beckley seems to be all over it. And they are. That's a nice defensive play, and a flag comes in behind the play as they run the young man out of bounds. That's good defense by Beckley.
This may be another penalty on Beckley.
That was Miles Metters on the run. Well, the flag came in behind the play.
Oh, blocking the back.
So I think if you're Beckley, you might take the result maybe of the play and have the play defense made for one down. They're going to move them back. And the reason I say you might want to take the result of the play because Huntington's offense is so explosive. And
give them an extra down.
Yeah, now they get to keep the down as the ball comes back to the 44-yard line of Beckley. So from the Beckley 44, it'll remain 2nd down. They've got to get the ball to the 20 to keep the drive alive. Laco will work out of the gun. Puts a man in motion, takes the snap, rolls the pocket, pressure comes, throws deep, got a man out there, and it's overthrown.
Finally some pressure. Not a clean pocket that time for Laco. And Beckley's finally attacking a little bit. But, you know, that's what happens when you have a team, the team speed that Huntington has. You have to play a little more tentative. You don't want your players to play that way, but speed kills. And as you can see, you missed one tackle there in the end zone.
Trying to get the ball to Jonathan Jackson. He overthrew him, and as you mentioned, Eric, the pressure is what caused the pass to be overthrown. So brings up 3rd down. Clock stops on the incompletion. 2:50 for the third. 28-7 the Huntington lead. And 3rd down time at the Beckley 44. Laco puts a man in motion, takes the snap to throw. Pressure comes. He sits in the last minute, and they're going to sack him back inside the 45-yard line. Good job by the Flying Eagles.
Yeah, that's finally, not sitting back and waiting on the action to come to them. Defense is finally attacking, and we got a lot of whistles blowing and everything here.
Timeout maybe.
There's a flag.
A flag. That was a good coverage sack as the officials. There is a flag thrown, and I didn't see it. Maybe it came after the play. The sack goes back to the 45, and waiting for the official, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Offsetting. I think it's getting a little chippy out there now, and we got offsetting penalties. So it'll be the result of the play. 4th down, Huntington will have to punt.
Here's the thing. Both teams need to just settle down. It's been a well-played football game, and just play football, guys.
Eric, I'm starting to think it's us or maybe me.
It's you.
Every time I had a basketball game between Beckley and Greenbrier. It's a girls' game that got stopped, broke out in a fight. Last week we had Bluefield Independence. The game got stopped. It broke out in a fight. We hope we don't have that tonight. As here is a Huntington punt.
Good punt.
Yep, there's a flag on that play.
Yeah, it's getting chippy.
It's getting real chippy. Another flag. So we got 2 flags come in. And both of these teams are going after it, and we'll have to sort this out as the punt goes out of bounds inside the 15.
Offsetting.
Actually inside the 20. And we will see after they sort this out. This is going to be after the ball went out of bounds as the official standing at the 17-yard line.
I know both of these programs and coaches respect one another, and they need to get a handle on both sides of the kids. You don't want to do anything because both of you teams are at this point playoff teams. You don't want to do anything to cost you a game next week. Don't let one loss if you're Beckley turn into the 2 by not having all your players, next week against Princeton.
Well, you're so right. And, Eric, it's so hard for a lot of kids to get on the field in the first place. You don't want to do anything by taking yourself out of the play by getting thrown out of a game where if you get thrown out of a game, it's not like college. If you get thrown out for targeting, you have to sit out a half. You get thrown out in high school, you got to sit out another whole game. And the penalty I think it's going to go against Beckley as they're walking further back.
No, it was offsetting. They're
Was
just
it?
spotted. There's. Oh, a holding? Oh, hold in? Okay.
So maybe the unsportsmanlike was offsetting, but then a holding call on top of that is they're going to take the ball back inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, once again, digging yourself a hole with your style of football. You want to start more close to the middle of the field than your own end zone.
And for the second straight time, Eric, Beckley will have to start on their own 8-yard line. 2:17 for the third. Here's the shotgun snap to Jones. He looks to throws. He's got a man. They make the connection. That'll be a first down up over the 20. And that was a well-thrown ball by the Beckley quarterback, Jay Jones. I mean, that was a strike.
Good-looking pass.
To Elijah Waller.
Yes,
that was a well-executed play, and that was one of the better passes I've seen Jones throw.
And the thing is, Maris, here moving forward, if you're Beckley and you're able to get some sort of passing game with this rushing attack, you're going to be a load for any team, down the stretch.
That's a 15-yard pickup and gets the ball out to the 23-yard line as we're getting ready to go under 2 minutes for the third. And I think Beckley, though, you got to have a little bit more urgency because you're down 3 touchdowns. We're in the third quarter. Beckley's got twin receivers here to the near side. Jones takes the snap. He's in trouble, throws the ball, and it's going to be incomplete. There was a receiver in the area. So that is not intentional ground. It'll just be an incomplete pass and bring up second down.
Yeah, there was a receiver. Christian Stewart was over in the vicinity of the play. One thing I'd like to see out of Beckley's quarterback, and if you can watch what Huntington's quarterback does, you need to climb the pocket, but he doesn't pass enough. He's actually hurting his lineman by trying to get outside, and if you can step up in the pocket, that helps, the lineman push him past a little bit.
Jay Jones, the 6'2", 191-pound senior, he didn't start his first game until the Riverside game, the start of this season as a senior. Of course, he playing behind Maddox McMillan all those years. So Beckley will try a little, and you can see on that pass, not really a touch on it, trying to get the ball to Moore on the near side, and it goes incomplete.
And you saw Huntington bringing some heat from the corner right there. Now whichever side, the opposite of what the back is in that shotgun, they're bringing heat from that side, unblocked. So
3rd and 10 for Beckley on their own 23. The clock stops on the incompletion. And let's see what Beckley will dial up here. Still in no hurry as the play clock approaches 10 as they get out of the huddle. They'll run twin receivers to each side. As Jones will wait on the shotgun snap. Huntington dials up the pressure. Here they come. Jones steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to be sacked. And there's a flag comes in as well. So we might have a hold as well as the sack. The sack will take the ball back to the 15-yard line. And if it is a hold, I'm sure obviously Huntington will decline it, make it 4th down, and force a Beckley punt.
But that time he did what I thought he needed to do, try to step up, but it was just too much pressure. Came in waves.
And there's the call. The hold is on Beckley. Huntington will decline it, and it'll make it 4th down. They'll take the result of the play. But as you mentioned, Eric, you're right. He did climb the pocket, but he just really didn't have a chance because Huntington was dialing up more pressure than what Beckley could block.
And that's the recipe. And we knew this Huntington defense, once they could get a couple scores ahead, they were going to be able to dictate how the game was played.
So Mollahan standing inside his 5-yard line, waiting on the snap as he's ready to punt it away on 4th down. Here's the snap. And they ran into him. That should have been a penalty, but they're saying that he was partially blocked. That's why it's not a penalty. And Huntington's going to pick it up and run inside the 5-yard line. No question Mollahan got hit, but I saw the official give the indication that the ball was tipped. So, therefore, that's why it is not roughing the punter, and Huntington's going to start inside the 5-yard line as we watch the instant replay. Watch it right here. The ball right there was tipped, and the official immediately signaled that it was tipped. And the ball took a big Huntington bounce, and alertly one of the Huntington players picks it up and runs the ball down inside the 5, and Huntington will start this drive at the Beckley 3-yard line. So partially blocked. And Huntington will have a 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. So here come the Highlanders. And what do we got? Official stops play.
The ball crossed the line of scrimmage and the neutral zone and came back. Therefore, it is fair play. 1st and goal
the official just explaining the play, which was a legal play because the ball was tipped past the line of scrimmage. Huntington alertly picked it up and ran it down inside the 5 at the 3. It'll be first and goal for the Highlanders from the 3-yard line. They'll send a man in motion. Lock guy will take the snap. He looks to throw, pumps. He throws out in the flat. It's caught, and it'll be a Huntington touchdown. So another one-play drive for Huntington, and they've extended the lead to 34-7 with 1:03 left here in the third quarter. And the young man that caught that pass, I think that was Brown.
No, McNeely.
I beg your pardon, McNeely.
Malik McNeely, 10.
McNeely, yeah. I beg your pardon. We want to get the right credit. And here comes Huntington to try to tackle on the 35th point of the night. And the kick is up, and it is good. So Huntington has scored 35 unanswered, and your new score with 1:03 left in the third quarter is Huntington 35, Beckley 7. We'll take a break. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football on Video Productions.
All right, guys, here's our 50-50 winner.
Adrian, need to get over to Hometown Kia in Beckley. You got a prize-winning lineup of new Kias over there, and these new Kias are real contenders. Mickey even likes the new Telluride to ride back and forth to the gym. Those guys at Hometown Kia in Beckley, they are in the corner fighting for you through the whole deal. So if you're out there in the market for a new ride, don't go 10 rounds with one of those other dealers. Get over to Hometown Kia of Beckley for a real knockout deal. Get a new Kia from Hometown Kia. That's how winning is done.
You have a goal. You know what you want. Start with us, New River Community and Technical College, your community college. Take classes online or in a classroom in Beaver, Lewisburg, Summersville, or Princeton, or step outside the classroom in one of our technical or health programs. Find flexible and affordable options to help you reach your goal. It's closer than you think when you start.
And we'll welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium in Beckley. Here comes the kickoff, the ensuing kickoff. And it drives Waller back inside the 10.
Waller with the ball.
Crosses the 15 to the 20, over the 25, and Huntington stacks him up about the 26-yard line. But that last touchdown drive, and Eric, that's the third out of the 5 touchdowns that Huntington has got. They've had 3 one-play drives. And another one-play drive after a partially blocked punt, a 3-yard touchdown pass to McNeely. And the PAT good, 35-7 is the score. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. Man, wouldn't I like to have a nice ice-cold Pepsi.
Nice blue can.
So Beckley will have it, and they'll scrimmage from their own 26-yard line. And, Eric, this third quarter has really gotten away from the Flying Eagles.
Yeah, and what I'd like to see, out of both teams, well, Huntington's scoring, of course, but they need to settle down. I think if you're Beckley, you really need to get something going. So, it's 35-7, but you still want to play this fourth quarter and, moving forward, you want to get something back, get that offense going back so you can have some positive momentum going into next Friday night.
So here's Jones, takes the shotgun snap. He rolls the pocket, pressure comes, throws the ball, and it's almost intercepted. It probably should have been intercepted, and now there's going to be a penalty flag on Beckley as the defensive player for Huntington was thrown to the turf after he could not hang on, and that's going to be a penalty on Beckley.
Let's watch this here on this instant replay. Did he think that the guy had it?
Well, see, he drops it right here. He's there, and then he gets thrown down to the ground. And the flag, especially the way with all the chippiness that the game has had, Eric, the penalty comes in. So while the officials sort it out, I'd like to take the time to thank our streaming sponsor, Dr. John Talbot at West Virginia Orthopedic Trauma. Whether it's a sports injury or car accident, Dr. Talbot will get you back on your feet, as West Virginia Orthopedic and Trauma is a proud sponsor of West Virginia High School athletics. So that'll be a dead ball foul, so the play will count and make it second down, and then they'll mark off the penalty of an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Beckley. And they'll move the ball back. The original line of scrimmage was a 26. Ball will come back from, I guess, the spot of the foul, and it goes to the 16-yard line, and it will be second down.
Yeah, things are unraveling very quickly for Beckley.
Out of the gun, Jones. They're going to run the ball to Moore. Moore trying to find some running room as he lunges ahead across the 20 and gets out to the 23-yard line, maybe the 24, but it's going to bring up a third and long. Let's see where they'll put him down at. They put him down at the 23-yard line. He got 7 on the carry and brings up third down. So I'm not sure if Beckley will. Beckley can let the clock run out. I'm not sure if we'll get a playoff in time to end the third.
Yeah, I hope they're letting it run out
They
because they're running towards the sideline. Yeah.
So they will. So that's the end of the third quarter. And at the end of three, it's Huntington. They dominate the third quarter. They take a 35-7 lead into the fourth quarter. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
It looks like.
You can get it when we come back.
No, I thought we were out.
Adrian, need to get over to Hometown Kia in Beckley. You got a prize-winning lineup of new Kias over there. And these new Kias are real contenders. Mickey even likes the new Telluride to ride back and forth to the gym. Those guys at Hometown Kia in Beckley, they are in the corner fighting for you through the whole deal. So if you're out there in the market for a new ride, don't go 10 rounds with one of those other dealers. Get over to Hometown Kia of Beckley for a real knockout deal. Get a new Kia from Hometown Kia. That's how winning is done.
You have a goal. You know what you want. Start with us, New River Community and Technical College, your community college. Take classes online or in a classroom in Beaver, Lewisburg, Summersville, or Princeton, or step outside the classroom in one of our technical or health programs. Find flexible and affordable options to help you reach your goal. It's closer than you think when you start with us, New River Community and Technical College. Apply today.
Welcome back to Van Meter Stadium as we go to the fourth quarter here in Beckley, West Virginia with Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry. Mr. Reliable, Dependable, Chris Farish.
The best in the business.
Absolutely. Stat man and also best in the business when it comes to producing and directing. And I can say that about Nick Eskins because Dee Pennington is not here tonight. Here's a pass that's batted down. And I'm sure if Dee Pennington were here tonight, Eric, I don't think I could get away with saying, even though Nick is one of the best in the business, he's the best tonight.
Yeah, I'd have to say that. When Dee's around, she's the best at everything. Cooking, everything.
Well, I don't know about the everything part. I just know about producing and directing. And that'll bring up a fourth down as we like to pick on Nick as we watch the replay. He knows we're only kidding about him. Such a nice guy. I don't know how he puts up with me. Eric, he can put up with you, but I don't know how he puts up with me. And for that, Butch, if you're watching, you ought to give Nick a raise just to have to put up with me. Here's a fake punt, and Beckley's not going to get there what they needed for the first down, so they're going to turn the ball over on downs deep in their own territory, and Huntington will take over. Beckley tried to surprise them and try to run a fake punt, and Huntington will turn them away, and the Highlanders will take over, and let's say they'll put the ball down. Looks to be at the Beckley 27-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Huntington. Huntington got down 7-0. They led 14-7 at the half. At the third quarter, Huntington really took over the game.
Yeah, they imposed their will offensively, and that led to better defensive possessions because when you're up big, you really can blitz more. You can do a lot of different stuff defensively.
So I'm not sure what the hold up is here now.
TV timeout.
Well, we didn't take it, so I still don't know what it is or what's going on, why they've decided to hold up play. But Huntington has the ball at the Beckley 27 after the fake punt was not successful. And maybe headlights with the cars as one of the officials is going back. And, Eric, you would think, and maybe I'm totally wrong on this, but as long as people's been coming to games and they sit in that end zone, and this has been something that's happened for a while, maybe think they would know, but obviously I don't guess they really realized, what was going on. So that's what the holdup is. They got to get the headlights turned off. And now that we've accomplished that, Huntington will have it 1st and 10 at the Beckley 27-yard line. So they'll run with twin receivers here to the near side, actually trips to the near side. And they overload the near side, and they run to the opposite side, and that's been successful. Down the sideline, Jackson, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. That's the fourth one-play drive. And what Huntington has done has been very successful, Eric, overloading one side to move so they'd have the numbers on the weak side, and they run Jackson around the corner for a 27-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and untouched down the sideline, and just good play call.
Yeah, as we watch the replay, they definitely had the numbers. And like I said, they were able to overside one load, run back the other way, and another one-play drive. So their last Their last 3 scoring touchdown drives have been of one play. That's the 4th one-play touchdown drive. Is the PAT is good. Or is it not good? Apparently it is not good. It's still 41, so apparently is it good? And it is good. I was looking up. I thought it was good, and then I seen that I was just telling the clock operator on my right, maybe it's a little slow on the finger there. That's my bad. But anyway, as you can see, it is good, and that extends the lead to 42-7. Once again, a one-play, 27-yard drive. Jackson with a 27-yard touchdown run. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. And nothing, and I mean nothing, tastes better in a blue can than Pepsi. But, Eric, I tell you, you have to be very impressed. Of course, Huntington was runner-up last year, losing to Martinsburg. But you got to be very, very impressed that there's no question. Not only do I believe, and I think you'll agree with me, Eric, that Huntington not only could get there, they can win the whole thing.
Hey, the way they run their offense, they have great skill position players, a great quarterback, great coaching, good offensive line play. So that's the formula and recipe to win it all.
And I think for Beckley, I think they learned a lot about themselves. They played a good first half. Things kind of got away from them the second half. They are a power team. They do, and I think that's effective, though. If Beckley gets in the playoffs, even if they have to go on the road, and they could still maybe get in the top 8 and get a home game. Now it's a 35-point lead, so what they do, Eric, in the fourth quarter, you have a running fourth quarter clock whenever one team is ahead. So I think that's what they're doing. They're letting both benches know that it'll be a running fourth quarter clock. But even with this loss tonight, I still wouldn't count Beckley out of being a really good playoff contender, especially because of the way they can run the ball.
Well, and I told you, even in the Parkersburg South loss, a couple possessions here or there, they're right in that game. But it's one of those things where I don't think you'd want to line up with the style of play sometimes that Beckley has.
Here's a kickoff return, crosses the 40 midfield. This might go the distance to the 30 of Huntington, to the 20, all the way down inside to the 15-yard line. I don't see any laundry, and that's a nice return by Mitchell.
Demontre. Now, I told you he's kind of the home run hitter for this team as
he
see
is.
The replay.
Yep.
You know what I liked about him? He hit it.
Good blocking.
He put it up in there.
He found the seam, speed down the near sideline, cross midfield, and they had one man to beat, and the Huntington guy catches him.
Great tackle.
Put the ball down at the 12-yard line. So we will have a running fourth quarter clock as Beckley will have it 1st and 10 at the Huntington 12.
And then one thing you want, if you're the Beckley team, as I see some new faces or new numbers on the offensive line, you're trying to build some depth here because you did get an injury to one of your key blockers early in the game.
Here's Moore with the carry. Gets the ball down inside the 10-yard line.
But look, 1, 2, 3. It takes 4 to 5 guys to bring Mr. Moore down.
And, of course, here's the thing, too, Eric. If Beckley does score a touchdown, then the clock will not continue to run. It'll be just like a regular quarter. The clock just runs through when it's one team's ahead by 35 or more in the fourth quarter. As they get the ball down to the 8-yard line, that was a 4-yard gain by Moore. And it'll be second down for Beckley at the Huntington 8-yard line. Jay Jones, 6'2", 191-pound senior. Out of the I formation is Beckley. They'll run it with the second man through. That's Mitchell. And he gets the ball down to the 3, maybe the 2. They still don't blow the whistle. And sometimes, Eric, I think they should blow the whistle a little sooner because I think people could get hurt in that pile when they keep trying to push the pile forward.
Yeah, yes, sir. I totally agree with that. You know what? That causes a lot of friction, too, late in the game. Getting that extra hit and chip on someone, they may not like it.
They're going to say that's actually a first down and get the ball to the 1-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal for Beckley at the 1-yard line. 9.5 to go. Huntington has scored 42 unanswered. They lead 42-7, but Beckley trying to stick another one into the end zone. Here's a handoff, and it's Grayton. And does he get there? He does. That's a touchdown. Nate Grayton gets the touchdown, the 5'9", 182-pound senior from a yard out. So after a big kickoff return, Beckley needs only 3 plays to go 12 yards, and Grayton finishes it with a touchdown. And let's see if they line up and probably go for 2 here. That trims the Huntington lead to 42-13. And Beckley will go for 2. So it looks like this will hold up, and if so, Eric, this will be 12 straight wins in this series for Huntington. As they run the clock through, there's a pass, which is good. A inside shovel patch to Grayton, and he gets into the end zone with 8.5 to go. Now the clock should stop now to make it 42-15. They're going to continue to run it, it looks like. But nevertheless, Beckley gets in the end zone. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. Nothing tastes better than a Pepsi. Beckley, 3 plays to go 12 yards, and it's Grayton with the 1-yard touchdown run, and then the 2-point conversion, the 1-yard pass or the 2-point conversion pass. So the clock is continuing to run as we're going to go under 8 minutes, and definitely you got to think Eric got an onside kick coming up here for Beckley.
We had a game go final, and 2 teams that are going to match up next week in a big game. Beckley and Princeton. Princeton went on the road to Hurricane, and the game just went final. They lost 49-13. So pretty identical. Both of these teams are going to be in a bad mood next Friday.
And, Eric, that's another team. Everybody, rightfully so, talking about Parkersburg, Huntington, Spring Valley, Cabell Midland, maybe even Parkersburg South. But don't count out Hurricane.
Parkersburg South. Parkersburg is not very good
Parkersburg
this
South.
year.
But Hurricane is a very good team. And Coach May left South Charleston and went to Hurricane. And
I think he's got a lot of new faces down there on that team.
I think he took some players with him, but nevertheless, Hurricane has a very good team. As Beckley has set up, I'm almost certain we'll see an onside kick here. Clock is continuing to run as we're running it through here in the fourth quarter, and there is the onside kick. I'm not sure it went 10 yards, and Huntington is on it, and it did go 10 yards. Now, the kickoff, Huntington has recovered, and they'll take over. Looks to be about their 48-yard line.
Look for Coach Seals probably to empty his bench here a little bit and get some of his younger guys. Well, I can't say younger guys because the team's pretty young. Only 9 seniors on the whole team. I'm sorry.
Well, Huntington's got 4 games remaining after tonight. They're home with Parkersburg next week.
And then the
they
big
go
matchup.
The arch rival Cabell Midland, St. Albans, and then Hurricane on the road at the end of the year. That ought to be a heck of a game between.
Man.
So really, you think St. Albans has had a tough year. Parkersburg's had a tough year. But really big battles, and both of those games for Huntington on the road at Cabell Midland and at Hurricane.
Yeah, and both sides have emptied their give the young men a little time to shine.
Yeah, Huntington with a new quarterback in there. And it's going to be Crawford in there at quarterback. Avante Crawford, 6'1", 175-pound sophomore. They're going to hand the ball. That is Jackson, though, I do believe.
They still kept him in.
Yeah, he's going to get close, and he's going to have a first down. I believe that was Jackson. It's either Jackson or it might be Harris.
Yeah, I think that was Harris.
Was it Harris?
Yes. That 5 and that 6, that looks pretty similar. And they run pretty much the same.
Well, it will be a first down. The ball is at the Beckley 38-yard line. That's a 14-yard gain, and that will move the sticks. As once again, the quarterback is Crawford for Huntington out of the shotgun. 6 minutes to go in the game. Crawford waiting on the shotgun snap. They'll pitch it out, run here to the near side. Beckley appears to be all over it, and that's going to go for a loss of a couple. Back to the 40-yard line. So we're going to bring up a second down play. If you're watching, want to know why the clock isn't stopped, they're running the clock straight through in this fourth quarter. We're down under 6 minutes for the game. And Huntington with the number 6 team. This might move them up, Eric, because Beckley had 5 wins coming in.
Yeah, definitely.
So you beat a AAA, the points, and then the 5 wins
Bonus
that Beckley
point.
gives you, the bonus points. Huntington might move in the top 5 in next week when it comes out on Tuesday. Second down play for Huntington. They'll run it. No, they won't. Fake the run, throw a pass, and they throw it in between to nobody, and it's an incomplete.
It looked like that time if the Beckley defender had had his head up, could have been picked off.
So we're going under 5 minutes.
All teachable moments on film, though.
Right. As we mentioned, with the way the rules were set up, they continue to run the clock straight through, which I'll be honest with you, Eric, I'm not a big fan of that.
Me either.
But I get it in today's day and
Because
time.
if they're going to play the younger guys, these guys practice, and
they should get the full time to play. Here's going to be a pass play. It's a slant. The connection's made. A big hit. But it looks like it's going to be a first down as a real big hit by one of the Beckley players as the pass is completed down to the Beckley 26-yard line. And that will be enough to move the chains. A first down.
Yeah, I think if you're Beckley, you really want to try to keep them out of the end zone here.
So Huntington from the Beckley 26. Like Eric told you, both teams with reserve players in there as they continue to run the clock straight through. It's going to be a throw. Crawford breaks loose, throws the ball deep, got a man in the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. Huntington thought there was pass interference, and it easily could have been pass interference, Eric.
Yeah, he was getting yanked,
yanked
on a little
pushed,
bit,
yeah.
but maybe that was uncatchable.
Well, that's the terrible thing, because as we watch the replay, and when I say it's the terrible thing, which I agree, I think the ball was thrown behind him, but I'm not sure that is a rule. I think if you ask
if
the
you
officials,
interfere, you interfere, yes.
Right, but I'm saying whether the ball's catchable or not, I don't think that really matters under the rule. But and you know, and I don't think Huntington is trying to run the score by no means, because some people might look at the score.
I don't get caught up
42-15.
in that. Hey.
I don't either, but you know, some people might say that. But you're right; it's a teaching moment.
It's a teachable moment, and these kids go out there and try to stop them.
So here comes Huntington. They'll run the ball right up the gut. Big hit by Beckley, and there's some, you know, some of the kids now getting in for Beckley.
Yeah, that's
you know,
what I'm saying.
They want to earn their stripes too.
That's right, and it's in all of its teachable moments. Get out there and play the game.
So we'll have a third down play coming up at the Beckley 24-yard line as we're winding down. 2:50 for the game. Huntington's going to win it and go to 5-1. Beckley will fall to 5-2. Huntington was number 6 coming in. Beckley was number 9. So Beckley's got 3 games remaining. Of the remaining 4 weeks of the regular season, Beckley has 3 games and a bye week, 2 on the road at Princeton, at Oak Hill. They'll finish November 4th. We'll be back here for that one when they play George Washington. Crawford waits on the snap. Back to throw. Pressure comes, and he's going to be sacked back across the 35-yard line to about the 36-yard line perhaps.
And Leon Smith, and he's been in the game. He's been in the backfield a lot this evening.
So to bring up a 4th down, they'll put the ball down at the Beckley 35-yard line. We're approaching the final 2 minutes of the ball game. And let's see. Actually, looks like we might have a timeout. As I do think we do. Well, we got a minute. We'll talk. We would like to thank our live streaming sponsor, Dr. John Tabbitt of West Virginia Orthopedic Trauma. Whether it's a sports injury or a car accident, Dr. Tabbitt will get you back on your feet. West Virginia Orthopedic Trauma, proud supporter of high school athletes in southern West Virginia. So we did have a timeout there. The clock stopped momentarily for 2:15. Coming up in our Pioneer Bank postgame show, we'll recap what was only a 14-7 Huntington lead, Eric, at halftime. The third quarter, Huntington got the separation and really took control of the ball game against Beckley here.
Yeah, Huntington really came out with some good halftime adjustments. Beckley just missed an onside kick to start that third quarter because they knew how important to possess that ball was and maybe tie it up and change the complexity of the game. But hats off to this Huntington team. It's been a well-played game by them, and Coach Billy Seals is still out there coaching hard.
Well, he's upset. They had to call another timeout, and Huntington didn't execute what he wanted executed. But nevertheless, when you look at this Huntington team, they had a 7-play, 70-yard drive for a touchdown, but they had a 1-play drive for 43 yards, a 2-play drive covering 57 yards, a 1-play 35-yard drive, a 1-play drive of 3 yards, and a 1-play drive of 27 yards. So out of the 6 touchdowns that Huntington got tonight, Eric, 4 of them were just 1-play drives.
Yeah, and that's just their explosiveness. I mean, they're a really explosive team.
So now we'll get back to the game. 2:15. Huntington is set to punt, and I think whatever Huntington wanted to do, they got situated now.
Well, can I give another teachable moment?
Sure.
Why are they not on the 10-yard line, the deep backs? You don't want to try to return anything.
I don't know.
We were always taught put your feet on the 10, and anything over your head like that just.
I don't know what the holdup is. I guess they're letting the play clock run down and back up. That's what they did. They're taking a delay of game penalty, which I don't understand that. So it'll be 4th down from the 40, and it'll still be punting. Maybe just giving more room. You didn't want to kick it in the end zone. So So 2:15 now. They do start the clock. As we wind down to the end of this one, you're right, the Beckley receivers are standing at the 5, and you think you wouldn't want to catch it there. And they're going to try to kick the coffin corner. Takes a big bounce, and they do catch it inside the 10. The ball's fumbled, but I think Beckley is back on it, and they do recover the fumbled punt. So we got the final 1:58 that they'll run the clock through as Beckley takes over back inside the 10. This is the third time tonight Beckley has started a drive inside the 10-yard line, and the third time they've started on the 8-yard line. And that's where they'll start this drive as they wind the clock down as we're at 1:53 and counting. Actually, they'll put it on the 9-yard line. But it was 14-7 at the break, and then Huntington took control of the third quarter. After Beckley went up 7-0, Huntington scored 42 unanswered to go up 42-7 before Beckley scored on their last possession with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So the clock continues to run. Probably got maybe 3 or 4 more snaps as Jones takes the shotgun snap to throw, and it's going to be almost intercepted.
My goodness, that shows you what a load that Matt Moore is. That looked like it was going to be picked off, and the defender just bounced off of him. You know.
As we watch the replay, and we watch it here, here comes the pass. Wow. That was almost picked, but you're right. He hit Moore and is like he pinballed off of Matt Moore to the turf. Clock will continue to turn under a minute. Second down play coming up. So Beckley will lose for the second time, and Eric Beckley is perfect on the road, but they'll lose the second time here at home. They lost to Parkersburg South earlier in the year as Moore gets the handoff, runs the ball out to the 15, and we might get one more play in maybe. Clock turns, 30 seconds left in the game. So this was impressive for Huntington. And the thing about it too, Eric, when they got behind 7-0, Huntington never panicked. They tied the game at 7. They went up 14-7 at the half, and then the third quarter, they really got the separation they needed. They took a 42-7 lead here in the fourth quarter. This will be the final play of the game. Beckley able to get a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, but after the game was already out of hand, 42-15 is going to be the final score unless there's a touchdown scored on this play, and there won't be. So Huntington will now have beaten Beckley 12 straight times, and your final score will be Huntington 42, Beckley 15. Stay with us as we have the Pioneer Community Bank postgame show coming right up. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
Plumbing and Heating of Beckley, West Virginia is now hiring journeyman or master plumbers. You must have a West Virginia plumbing license and a valid driver's license. All interested parties may apply at Modley's Plumbing and Heating at 101 First Street, Beckley, West Virginia. Or interested applicants can call 304-253-HELP. Once again, you may apply in person at Modley's Plumbing and Heating, 101 First Street, Beckley, West Virginia. Modley's Plumbing and Heating is an equal opportunity employer.
What's more important to you when buying windows, siding, and doors?
Is it energy savings, cost, quality, warranty, or perhaps color options, low maintenance, service, or financing options?
Or all of the above. Window World offers it all.
We listen to your needs and go above and beyond your expectations. Schedule your free, no obligation, in-home estimate by calling Window World of Beckley today.
We welcome you back into the Pioneer Community Bank postgame show. Your final score, Huntington defeats Beckley 42-15. With the win, Huntington will go to 5-1. Beckley will fall to 5-2. And Eric, it was really a tale of two halves as Beckley was able to score first and go up 7-0. Huntington was able to tie it. It was 14-7 at halftime, and Beckley had a lot of things going for them in that first half. They chewed up clock. They got what they wanted, but then in the third quarter, Beckley kind of went off the rails a little bit. Huntington expanded the lead, and they win going away. The final score, Huntington beats Beckley 42-15.
Yeah, and if you're Beckley, you did everything that you needed to do in that first half, and I think the complexity of the game did change in the third quarter after they went down 2 scores. And you and I we both stated that if Beckley went down 2 scores, it would be really, really tough because Huntington, on one hand, their defense could dictate how they played.
Yeah, and, out of the 6 touchdown drives that Huntington got, 4 of them were just one-play drives. So we knew how explosive Huntington's offense was, and we know Beckley's not really built. Beckley's built to have, 70, 80-yard drives in 10, 12 plays, taking off, 7, 8 minutes of the clock. Beckley, they have the ability, because they do have the athletes, to hit the big play, but by and large, they're more of a methodical drive the ball down the field.
Yeah, but this still, you're exactly right. But this team still, if they can keep their composure and bounce back and get these at least 2 out of 3 wins down the stretch, they're going to be a formidable team in the playoff for anyone to play.
Yeah, that's for sure. When the weather gets cold, Beckley will be definitely, they do what in the cold, what you need to do is run the ball, and Beckley does that really well. Anyway, we're going to come back and give you Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Cracker Barrel, locations in Beckley and Princeton, and we'll do that as we take a break here in the Pioneer Community Bank postgame show. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
Every year, the big banks raise their fees while reducing the services they provide. How do they get away with that? If you were to join Pioneer Community Bank, your money would stay right here, supporting a local business, which results in lower fees and better customer service for you. Sounds like a plan. So you're not really stuck with the big banks and their policies. Keep your money where it belongs, right here with Pioneer Community Bank. Pioneer Community Bank, with locations in Beckley, Yeager, Sophia, Moore, and Welch. Member FDIC.
Yo, Adrian, need to get over to Hometown Kia in Beckley. You got a prize-winning lineup of new Kias over there, and these new Kias are real contenders. Mickey even likes the new Telluride to ride back and forth to the gym. Those guys at Hometown Kia in Beckley, they are in the corner fighting for you through the whole deal. So if you're out there in the market for a new ride, don't go 10 rounds with one of those other dealers. Get over to Hometown Kia of Beckley for a real knockout deal. Get a new Kia from Hometown Kia. That's how winning is done.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
The earth beneath my feet is turning like a wheel and beating like a drum.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications, or strings, or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium in Beckley. I'm Maris Lowry with Eric Thomas. Final score, Huntington has defeated Beckley here tonight by the score of 42-15. Huntington is now 5-1. They've now won 5 in a row. After dropping that opening game loss to Spring Valley, Beckley falls to 5-2. We're going to go inside the numbers of the ball game, and inside the numbers are brought to you by Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel located in Beckley and Princeton, and I think I'm going to have breakfast at Cracker Barrel tomorrow. I can taste those delicious eggs, and I love me some pig at Cracker Barrel. Eric, you have the final totals of this big Huntington win.
Yeah, Huntington comes away with an impressive victory on the road. They outgained Beckley 264 yards to 164, and Huntington did it not by their usual through the air. They did it on the ground. Jackson for Huntington totaled it 9 times for 122 yards and 2 scores. And their impressive quarterback, Laco, he carried it 6 times for 69 yards and 2 scores. And Beckley was led on the ground by Matt Moore, Maris, 22 times, 85 yards, but they were 85 tough yards against this Huntington defense. They finished with 121 total yards on the ground and 43 through the air, which I think is probably a season high. You know, if they can incorporate a little bit of that in their game down the stretch, they'll be a tough out. But Huntington just too much for the Flying Eagles tonight.
Yeah, no question. As good as Beckley runs the ball, if they can work in a little bit better into the passing game, they could be a very formidable foe moving forward coming down the stretch. We'll take our final break here in the Pioneer Community Bank postgame show as Huntington defeats Beckley 42-15. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
Every year, the big banks raise their fees while reducing the services they provide. How do they get away with that? If you were to join Pioneer Community Bank, your money would stay right here, supporting a local business, which results in lower fees and better customer service for you. Sounds like a plan. So you're not really stuck with the big banks and their policies. Keep your money where it belongs, right here with Pioneer Community Bank. Pioneer Community Bank with locations in Beckley, Yeager, Sophia, Moore, and Welch. Member FDIC.
Massey Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
Beckley Auto Mall, West Virginia's largest GMC Buick dealer, is a proud sponsor of West Virginia high school athletics and our area student athletes. Beckley Auto Mall, with 3 locations for your convenience: 3934 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley, 199 Rogers Street, Princeton, and 368 Seneca Trail in Fairleigh. Plus, you can shop 24/7 at BeckleyAutomall.com. Beckley Auto Mall and West Virginia student athletes, a winning combination. GMC, we are professional grade.
As a former college football player, I realized that sports-related injuries can happen real fast. Hello, I'm Dr. Gross. If your child or grandchild is dealing with sports-related injuries, or maybe you're dealing with something that just won't go away, call me today and I can help you get back on the playing field. To better serve you, see us at one of our 3 locations in Beckley, Whipple, and Sophia at the numbers listed below. So take care of yourself. You deserve it.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium in Beckley as we get set to put a bow on this and wrap it up here in the Pioneer Community Bank postgame show. The final score, Huntington has defeated Beckley 42-15. Huntington has now won 5 games in a row, and they go to 5-1. They've got 4 games remaining, and Beckley now 5-2 with 3 games remaining. And for Beckley, of course, they have a bye week out of the last 4 weeks, and they have 2 on the road. They have to go to Princeton and Oak Hill. They'll finish up with George Washington here on November the 4th, and of course we'll be here for that. But Huntington able to win the game after Beckley got up 7-0. Huntington tied it, went up 14-7 at the half, and Huntington pulls away, wins the game 42-15. Definitely impressed by Huntington. Out of their 6 touchdowns, 4 of those drives were only one-play drives. So they had 4 one-play drives. They had a 2-play drive and a 7-play drive. They were very efficient on offense, and they win the ball game by the final score of 42-15. Well, that'll do it here from Beckley. We want to appreciate everyone that helped. We appreciate all the fine folks here at Beckley, Woodrow Wilson High School that helped us out in the preparation of this streaming broadcast. Always to the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing, directing, everything we need him to do. Tear down, put up, drive the bus, whatever we need Nick to do, he does it. And, of course, Mr. Reliable himself. I couldn't make it without Chris Farish, and he's always here to also help keep me in line and keep me from pestering Nick. And for my partner, Eric Thomas, I'm Maris Lowry, repeating the final score. Huntington beats Beckley 42-15 from Beckley.